Hail to the victors, of course, unless you're an Ohio State fan. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Win your battles, earn your name. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. The 100th running of this race. Lots of bragging rights on the line, certainly, particularly when you deal with Ford. These guys had dinner with Edsel Ford earlier this week, so this is a big deal to win in this track that's right there in the area where Ford is located.
Yeah, obviously, I listened to what some of them said about, and especially Clint Boyer talked about having dinner with them, and what an inspiration. I think these guys got a little more excited about it after having dinner with Edsel Ford.
Heritage Trophy is a big deal.
It's a really big deal. I mean, we talked about how important it is for the manufacturers, and all of those guys are ready to see their driver get to victory lane so they can take that trophy back to the headquarters with them.
Matt Patricia, head coach for the Detroit Lions, is a grand marshal, so let's go trackside for the command to start engines. There he is.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command to start the engines, please welcome today's Grand Marshal, Detroit Lions head coach, Matt Patricia.
All right, drivers, start your engine!
70 miles southwest of Detroit sits a 2-mile turntable playing all the Motown hits. So you ask, what's going on? Through 14 races, points leader Kyle Busch has signed, sealed, delivered a series best 5 wins. But it takes 2. And Brad Keselowski is my guy in car number as well as the standing. Stop in the name of, well, Martin Truex Jr. The 19's been in victory lane every other week. Or will another JGR driver, Denny Hamlin, be leaving here with win number 3? Oh, baby, don't forget about defending champ Joey Logano. He could be cruising toward a series repeat title. They used to say don't mess around with Bill. Now it's Chase's turn to be on cloud 9. That covers this season's race winners, but get ready. I heard it through the grapevine. Kevin Harvick's poised to turn the standings upside down with a trip to victory lane today. Is it just my imagination, or is this season flying by? Race number 15 coming up after the break, kids. We'll be spinning all the Motown hits. I'll be there. It's about to get wild.
Oh, here it goes. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing, boys.
Michigan is one of the toughest tracks off the stretch.
Lots of summer fun to be had. It's the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, Michigan International Speedway. You see pit road a little damp. The cars and the racetrack are dry, and here they come, ready to race for 400 miles. Just west of Motown. Do you like our little spinning platter?
I love it.
Kind of fun deal there?
Anytime you can put music to it, you're doing good.
Well, the question is, though, how close are they going to run today, Darrell?
Yeah, I think that's the question we saw practice. It looked like they were going to stay pretty much together in what I would call packs. I think the question all these drivers has, can somebody break outside that bubble and run off and leave everybody? I don't believe that's going to happen. I think we're going to see a race a lot like we saw at Charlotte. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close.
Jeff, we saw 2 schools of thought in qualifying, and this is an impound race. We saw drivers that were trimmed out to go fast and qualify up front. We had drivers that didn't qualify well, but it looked like their cars were set up to handle.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at our front row of Joey Logano, Eric Almirola. They went for sheer speed. These cars are going to be really good in clean air out front. But then you've got some big names further back. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott. I think they set their cars up to handle, have some stability. I can't wait to see which one of these strategies plays out and wins this race today. And it's going to take another strategy, too. So let's go to Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, Jeff, this is going to be so fun to watch because, yeah, we know the drivers, they're going to be aggressive on the racetrack, but the crew chiefs are going to have to be aggressive too. We saw it last week at Pocono. Strategy all over the place. You're going to be seeing a lot more of that here today because they know track position is king. Then there's another element. Totally different conditions since Friday. The track is cooler. The rubber's been washed off, so they'll have to be really aggressive in the early going with adjustments to that race car, Mike.
On the pace laps, dry racetrack. The starting grid will be on the bottom of your screen as we're going to go to the dial-a-tone.
Yeah, let's talk to somebody that's going to be starting midfield here and see what kind of strategy they've got. Chase Elliott, Jeff, and the guys up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So we've seen some cars have a lot of speed that maybe qualified up front. You guys chose maybe a little more downforce, a little more grip and stability. How do you think that strategy is going to play out for you guys today?
Yeah, it seems like there was a big, kind of a big choice, I feel like, from what some guys around me here did versus the guys up front. So, yeah, I think it's kind of a question mark for everybody. Obviously, we all had confidence in our own decisions, so we'll see how it works out. Hopefully ours is right.
All right, well, good luck with that. Have a good one.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Let's check in on pit road for late breaking stories, and all our reporters look high and dry. Matt Yoakum.
Thanks, Mike. Now, this morning I spoke with Joey Logano about the importance of a win here at Michigan, and he should know he has two of them. He thought for a few seconds, said, after the crown jewels, this one is number one on your list. The opportunity for bragging rights with the Michigan Heritage Trophy. To see Edsel Ford and the Ford family in Victory Lane is special. Crew Chief Todd Gordon told me, expect to see strategies across the board with what they've seen with tire wear and this package. He said the biggest adjustment I can make to my race car is track position. And right now they're starting with it on the pole. Jamie Little.
Well, Jimmy Johnson and the 48 team have some reason for optimism today. His crew chief, Kevin Mendering, told me they had one of their best practice sessions of the year on Friday. Jimmy felt like the car was stable. He can move around in the pack and make moves. So when it comes to strategy, today they are looking at the big picture. Jimmy sits 17th in points, just outside that playoff bubble. So the focus now, they want those stage points. They need to earn them and perhaps even win their first stage of the year. Regan Smith.
Well, Jamie, perhaps no driver on the circuit has been as hot as Eric Jones over the past 3 weeks. 2 third-place finishes, a little bit of bad luck at Charlotte for him, though. But this is coming at the perfect time. This is a home game from him. He's from nearby Byron, Michigan. He's been staying at home all week this week. Has 75 family members here watching him today. He told me of all the races on the circuit, this one is the most important to him to win. Well, that's the good news about that is the fact that he has a fast race car today, a car that drives good, and a car that can complete passes, which is going to be the key to winning this race today. Mike?
It sure is. Thanks, Regan. They're on, 1 to go. This race will go 400 miles. Stages 1 and 2, 60 laps each. We have an official race after stage 2 is complete. 80 laps the final stage. 55 miles an hour on pit road in the fuel window. 48 to 52 laps. The stages are 60 laps long. Grip level 4 on a scale of 1 to 5. What about the opportunity to pass and race on this big, wide 2-mile oval?
Detroit Steel, man. It's always been that way. It's you know, all the manufacturers. This is bragging rights.
It's important for Chevrolet and you know, trying to get them a win here. This race in particular, these 2 races a year, it's very special. It's a lot of bragging rights, and it's still, you know, one of those playgrounds where you want to come to and do a good job for your auto manufacturer, just so you can kind of stick it to the rest of them.
Thanks to the National Hudson Museum in Ypsilanti, where we filmed that feature. Edsel Ford, NASCAR Hall of Fame Landmark Award winner. He's a member of the board of directors of Ford Motor Company. There with Eddie Wood and Kevin Kennedy. And the godfather of Ford racing, self-proclaimed.
Edsel, for a long time, he was hung around with Bud Moore back in the day.
Now, Eric Almirola will start on the inside of the front row. Joey Logano's elected the outside. He's the pole sitter. Almirola was great in qualifying and great in long runs in practice. He will be a threat today.
All right, let's have a good day. This is a cool place to win at, Ford's backyard. So try and put one of these Ford Mustangs in victory lane here would be pretty cool. So we got a good car. Appreciate all the hard work. You guys brought a really fast car, so looking forward to it.
Part of that Stewart Haas team looking for their first win of the season. So we were on 1 to go. The track is ready, but we've got to get all of those track trucks and jet dryers to scurry for cover in a safe place. So they've added a lap. Jeff, at Pocono especially, and what a strategy race that was. We saw 2 agendas. Drivers with wins, seemingly, they didn't care about stage points. All they wanted was the playoff point that went with the stage, and otherwise, the points that go with a victory that carry all the way to Homestead. Then you've got the drivers like Jimmy Johnson, as we've heard, who need to pile up some of these stage points to make sure they make it into the top 16. 2 different agendas.
Well, 2 different agendas, but if you do it like Eric Jones did it, where you not only got some decent stage points, but you ultimately got a great finish. He jumped up several positions and inside that top 16. So I think you're going to see a lot of that varying throughout the day. But the one difference here, you can't come down pit road here under green and not go a lap down like you could at Pocono.
So here are the standings. The drivers in yellow have won a race, and they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, so they're going to be really aggressive, and anything they can do to get a stage, win or points, yeah, it's important to them, but they want the victories because that's where they can get the ultimate points.
And look how tight it is
the
back.
cutoff.
Yeah, look back here. I mean, we're tied. A couple guys tied. They're all over each other. That's pretty close.
And you say, well, why wouldn't they be more aggressive? We're still a little early in the season for them to take too many chances, and by maybe not taking so much risk, they can earn those stage points and get themselves more solid into the top 16.
A couple of sprinkles on the windshield here. They're going to go back and try 1 to go again next time by.
Mike, I thought it was interesting. All the Ford drivers, I think we heard them talk about having dinner with Edsel Ford and what a commitment that they made to him, that they were not only going to win the pole, which they did with Joey Logano, but they were going to win this race and try to take that manufacturer's trophy back to Ford Motor Company. So a lot of the manufacturer's battle is pretty intense here.
Yes, it is, as you saw in our Win on Sunday, Sell on Monday piece. And Ford has qualified in 8 of the top 10 spots here. Only Denny Hamlin 4th for Toyota and Kurt Busch 7th for Chevrolet are the only non-Fords in the top 10. Michigan International Speedway, built in the late 1960s with an outfield road course, not an infield course. Dale Yarborough won the first Cup race here for the Wood brothers in '69. They've got a lot going on here with a Christmas light show, as at many other tracks, but also, who else has a backyard hockey tournament in January? Pretty cool. And a music festival in July. Very much a multi-purpose facility. And currently, NASCAR's fastest track.
206. Track record 206. You know anything about that, buddy?
I know a little something about that. I don't know exactly how it happened. But, we talk about, and we've talked about this in our pre-race, any kind of raindrops on the windshield at this track, because of how big and fast these corners are, is definitely going to get your attention as a race car driver. So I guarantee you right now, those drivers are saying, that's a little bit too much. But I do think that this is a cell that might move past us here and get this thing going.
That's Austin Dillon's car. You were watching out the roof cam. Let's have a look at the weather radar. I've been coming here since the mid-'70s, and this is the first time I've seen the weather move from the south-southeast way up there to the northwest.
Yeah. That's one of Larry's favorite, Larry McQuinnell's favorite pictures. It's all green.
Color of money? Not today. All right, we may go an extra lap here.
I'm still listening, DW.
I couldn't resist, buddy. I mean, they show radar. It's got green on it. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Well, I learned the hard way that green is not good when it comes to trying to win $1 million.
and be sure to send the right guy to look at the radar.
There was a lot of lessons learned that day.
Somebody asked me, Larry, I said on pit road, it's raining like crazy. They said, so what do you think? How much gas you got left in that car? I said, $1 million worth.
Watching the skies, seeing if we can get a start here.
Mike, you say, okay, it's light rain, but let me tell you, these are slick tires. We're talking about runoff in these corners at over 195 miles an hour. And if there's any moisture in the air or if it's sprinkling and it gets on the racetrack, these guys are out of control. So they cannot take a chance.
I mean, the tires generate a lot of heat, but you've got to have a dry surface to work with.
And just what you said, you have to have some heat in those tires too. And it does take about a lap for that heat and that grip, the ultimate grip in these cars, to build up in those tires. So that's why one of the trickiest tracks I've ever been to where they drop the green and it's so unpredictable in the first couple of corners is right here at Michigan.
Yeah, and you can't get the vortex working until you got to get these cars wound up.
At speed.
You can't just ride around there like this, expect to get any result. You got to get them going.
I did see where a very noted scientist, a lady who writes a lot of articles about the science of racing, completely debunked our vortex theory through all scientific criteria. But we insist the anecdotal evidence, which is evidence gathered just by observation and not in a scientific setting, time after time after time, if you get these cars going around here at speed and generating a hot column of air, the rain does not come in.
Well, to quote Kyle Busch, haters are going to hate.
It's okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, for right now, Mother Nature is winning. NASCAR next door with about 16 views on their big screen of this racetrack, and they're hearing from their observers around the track and officials in the pace car that they're going to bring them down pit road. Let's see. No, the pits are not open. You're going to stay in formation, and we'll be back to update you from Michigan International Speedway after this. NASCAR welcomes you back to Michigan International Speedway for 400 miles today, and I suppose we should add it's 5 o'clock somewhere right here under heavy clouds. It's 62 degrees, winds out of the northwest, variable at 16, gusts to 25 miles an hour, and they will make their presence felt as the drivers have climbed aboard and they're waiting for the order to get this show on the road. The last time we had a rain-delayed race here, Kyle Busch won it on a Tuesday for car owner Roger Penske. But now, a great change of weather from what we've seen all weekend when these cars were last on track on Friday. And now, what are we going to have that we've had rain all night, rain all day, rain all night?
Well, I'm a little confused. I know you'll find that I know you won't believe that, but I talked to some of the drivers, and they're a little confused, too. I thought the track being clean and green would be fast, and these cars would really take off quick. Then I talked to some more guys. They said, no, DW, it's going to be loose, and we're going to be lucky to hang on to them for 20 laps. So we're going to have to wait and see who's right and who's wrong.
Well, for some of those guys that qualified up front, they trimmed out their cars to go really fast in qualifying. How's that going to work for these guys in the first couple corners? But because of those conditions being so much cooler, I think this might be a gamble that really pays off. But, Larry, how are these conditions going to affect these teams today?
I tell you, Jeff, the key word all weekend long since we got to Michigan was unknown. Well, today, that word has all capital letters. To Mike's point, other than one qualifying lap, 72 hours since any of these race cars turned a lap, and so much has changed, including, as you guys documented, the weather. As a crew chief, I am anticipating these first laps to what my driver tells me that car's doing, and for a lot of crew chiefs, I'm anticipating that competition caution around lap 20 to see what adjustments I have to make and I need to make this car better.
Thanks, Larry. They begin to roll off down pit road. Your starting lineup will scroll across the bottom of the screen. We did have a little entertainment here yesterday, even though the cars only got to make pace laps. Bubba Wallace got a football from his coach and started playing it around, tossing it to Ryan Blaney, and then Corey LaJoie got involved. And then the fans got involved, and they started down there toward the end of pit road. By the time they were done, they were already up at the turn 4 into the grandstand. Daniel Hemrick brought refreshments, and LaJoie, it seems, was taught to throw that ball left-handed by none other than the NFL Jim Kelly when he was part owner of the Frank Cece car that Corey's dad drove in the Busch Series.
He did a darn good job, I have to say.
He may have more of a future in other sports if he wanted to. What do you say we dial up our pole sitter, Joey Logano? Hey, Joey, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got a copy?
I got you loud and clear. What's happening?
Oh, man, we're going racing. We're excited. It's been 48 hours since you've been in the car. A lot cooler conditions. All that rain has washed the rubber away. What are you expecting on that Pennzoil Ford here today?
Well, expect the unexpected, I guess. You never know what's going to happen here. Not much tire wear, so I'm sure strategy will come into play quite a bit. One thing we do know is they have a very fast show Pennzoil Ford, and we know how bad we want to win here at Michigan driving this blue oval, so we'll see if we can make it happen.
All right, thanks for talking to us. Good luck.
All right,
Yeah, the Ford drivers went to dinner with Edsel Ford at the Henry Ford Estate in Dearborn Fairlane. And boy, they got the message because Ford's qualified in 8 of the top 10 spots this weekend.
Well, what do you say we dial up Martin Truex? He started back in the 16th spot. Martin Truex Jr., it's TW. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
All right, look, I did the math. It's your time. Look, you finished first at Richmond. You finished 20th at Talladega. You finished first at Dover. You finished 19th at Kansas. You finished first at Charlotte. Finished 35th last week. Where are you going to finish today, buddy?
Hopefully first. I hope your math is correct. We'll see.
Oh, it's correct. Those are statistics. I didn't make that up. So you're looking good. Car, how do you think the car will be on this fresh, on this green racetrack?
I'm not real sure. I think we'll just have to feel out, kind of go from there. We got 20 laps till that competition yellow, so we'll have time to work on it pretty quick. So just try to hang on to some track conditions here. Hopefully be able to make our way forward with this Auto Owners car, and hopefully have a great day here in Michigan. Glad to be on track after 27 hours a week.
Yeah, well, we're all glad to get this race started. Thanks for talking to us, buddy, and good luck today.
Yeah, y'all have fun up there.
We will if you will. Let's see how much fun we can have down on pit road for a Monday. Jamie Little.
The sun is peeking through. We're excited for racing this evening. Well, Brad Keselowski and the 2 team, he will do anything to win here at Michigan at his home track. It's something he has not done in 19 tries. He told me yesterday he'll give up stage points. He'll give up stage wins if it means it sets him up for a win at the end of this thing. I talked to his crew chief, Paul Wolf. He made an air pressure adjustment to start this race, and that is the only adjustment he hopes to make all day. He wants to stay away from chassis adjustments. Don't waste that time on pit road. Matt Yoakum?
Jamie, this weekend marks the 1-year anniversary of Clint Boyer's first and only win here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. And it was big for a number of reasons, but especially this. It put the manufacturer trophy, the Michigan Heritage Trophy, back in the hands of Ford after spending 3 races with Chevrolet. Now, Booger, Ravitch, and Boyer very confident about what they brought here to Michigan, but there's so many unknowns with this new package, but they still think this could be the day that they score another one. But one thing that is known, at the end of the day, you're going to see another manufacturer emblem right here on the trophy. Regan Smith?
Well, Matt, perhaps no driver looks forward to coming to Michigan more than Kyle Larson. 3 wins here over the past 5 years. He's very good at this racetrack. I asked him before he climbed in the car what he could take from those wins, if anything. That's where the bad news begins. Absolutely nothing. It's completely different today with this set of rules for these drivers on the racetrack. His day Friday, very loose with that race car. Significant changes overnight. He said he'll find out when we do at the start of the race if he can get from the 22nd position to the front.
Thanks, Regan. This race is very important to all the manufacturers, being just 60 miles west of Detroit. We're used to hearing, reading a lot of smack on Twitter. The manufacturers got involved. Greg Biffle, 1,000 wins for Ford. Congratulating. Note the picture of all the ex-Ford drivers. And Ford says, yeah, but we prefer the championships they won with us. And Toyota says, clean the dust off those trophies every now and then. And Ford retweets Joey Logano. Will be taking it back in November, says Toyota. Talking smack on Twitter, and that is the Heritage Trophy that Michigan International Speedway awards to each cup-winning manufacturer.
And that's why we love coming here to this track and being close to Detroit and getting those automakers getting kind of a little riled up and talking smack. That was fun.
Yeah, we think it's funny, but they're serious.
Yeah.
400 miles, 200 laps around this 2-mile D-shaped superspeedway. 60, 60, and 80 laps are the stage lengths. 55 down pit road. Fuel window is about 10 laps shy of the first 2 stage distances. And the grip level 4 on a scale of 5. NASCAR told us they would have a competition caution because of the rain. And they were a little vague. They said around lap 20.
Yeah, well, they know that at a track like this, this size, sometimes those teams will play a little bit of games in how they strategize. But I don't think that's going to be a factor here today. You can't come down pit road here under green and not go down a lap.
Right now, we're right where we were yesterday on the final pace lap with the lights out on the safety car, ready to go green. Yesterday, the skies opened up. Today, I think they're going to wait on DW.
I think you're right, Mike, and it's Monday, and these guys are ready to go racing. I'm ready to send them on their way. I want all my fans and everybody to get up on their feet, because we're getting ready to send these cats off into the first turn. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys, and let's bang it up.
Hi, still outside, still in line. Still there, Denny. Still there. Outside here. Still there. No room behind him. Two pushing the 21. Still in line behind him. Still outside. Nothing up there. McKevin. Top of lane. Pushing each other. Still outside. Three that's outside. In out. McKevin. Still outside. Staying top. They're staying top. Still there. You're clear. 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 Quarter to the top. Clear.
Denny Hamlin to the lead from Joey Logano.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, it's going to work. He got in front of Logano and was able to hold the spot.
Yeah,
nice move.
Nice move, bold move by Denny Hamlin, getting that big run, using that big box of air behind the 22 car and stepping out, making it happen going into turn 3.
You remember we talked to Denny yesterday, and he said they were surprised how well they qualified because they had really kind of set their car up for the race. That showed he's got a pretty good race car right there when he just drove into turn 3. Quicker than the 22 of Logano did.
Well, and he also knew that if you got in front of Joey Logano, you're going to be in clean air and have even more grip.
And we heard Logano say, I need to be out front. We got our car set up to run out front in clean air.
Toyota first, Penske Fords 2, 3, 4, and Kyle Busch in and amongst the Hendrick cars mid-pack. Kyle lost 4 spots on the break, 19th.
Well, we've seen that inside lane of Kevin Harvick and Eric Almirola lost some positions at the original start. So we're going to have to watch how you position yourself on these restarts and how that's going to affect which lane choice you use.
I think Boyer got the worst of it. He lost 8 spots on the start.
Yeah, that inside never seems to be as quick as the outside. You get a nice sweep down into a corner, and that seemed to be where the speed is. We saw that with Logano when he qualified. Really had a nice line into turn 3. That seemed to really pay off.
Alex Bowman mixing it up. Goes to the inside of Ryan Newman. Going to make that pass. No, we got the aid of Daniel Hemrick. Rookie Hemrick's going to make it 3 wide. Go through the middle.
Boy, I tell you, Boyer is struggling. But
For the
right
lead. Here comes Logano. Can't complete that pass coming off 2.
Oh, he'll complete it here because he planned it perfectly in how he lined up on that quarter panel to side draft the 11.
I tell you got to watch out for is that 21 car, the Wood Brothers car. They have a great history here, Mike. They won the first race here with Cale Yarborough a long time ago. That 21 car could be a factor today.
Keselowski to the inside, going to drop in 5th in line behind Harvick.
And this is something else we're going to see a lot of. If you don't complete that pass, you get side by side like Brad Keselowski did on Denny Hamlin. It's going to allow that outside lane to line up and use the draft and go right on by.
And that's what's going to happen to Paul Menard right here.
You see Logano drop down, Mike, trying to give a little help to the 21 of another Ford, trying to help him maybe get his way back up near the front.
Whoa, nervous times and a little edgy for the 21 of Paul Menard coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, he just couldn't get cleared getting back in line behind Harvick.
Mike, there are 6 blue ovals at the front, with the exception of 1, and that's Denny Hamlin. He's right in the middle of this whole crowd.
Boy, the 4 car, Kevin Harvick, very confident in his race car. He drove down into turn 1 and just turned to the inside, went side by side with Denny Hamlin. I don't know if he's going to complete this pass, but he has a fast race car.
Harvick goes for 3rd. Keselowski aligns with him on the bottom. Menard to follow. The other Penske car did not get off to a great start. That is Ryan Blaney. Started 13th. He's back in 19th. In the red number 12 this week.
Mike, you get 2 cars side by side. You're running behind them. You get a huge draft. You think you can pull out and make that pass. If you don't, you're going to fall back.
There goes Harvick finally completing that 2nd place pass of Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin went up the hill just a bit in 1, opened the door.
I've seen his car wiggle a couple of times. He's been pretty aggressive with it. I think he likes his car, but I don't know if it's quite underneath him as much as he'd like it to be right now.
Martin Truex up 4 on the right of your screen from where he started.
Whoa, Hamlin way up the track. Looked like car might be a little tight off the corner there behind another car.
Almirola giving a good push as they come down the front straightaway off into the corner. He was all over the back bumper of Keselowski.
Great conditions I'm seeing for racing. Oh, Denny Hamlin gets really loose. I think that was Brad Keselowski on his rear bumper. Might have loosened him up a little bit, turning into turn 1. But this track tip has come down, overcast skies. This is the most grip this track's seen all weekend.
And here comes Kurt Busch. He had a great run out of turn number 2. Now gets in line behind Menard. He's the leading Chevrolet in 7th.
But I like what I'm seeing, Mike. I mean, these guys are staying all really bunched up here close together. A lot of drafting. You make the wrong move, you fall back, get in line, start all over again.
Yeah, Darrell, it seems like even if you don't have a great corner and you have to back up a little bit, as long as you don't lose a bunch of spots, it seems like by the end of the next straightaway, you're already caught up using that draft.
Yeah, it seems that way. Look at the 21 car. He's going to give Almirola a little shove down the back here. See if I can help you. Just trying to help you, buddy.
But I think we're going to see more of that, where somebody's going to lose the momentum and have to slam the door like Eric Almirola did on the 21 of Paul Menard.
Menard jumps to the inside, trying to move up into the 5th position. But the whole line of cars is on the outside.
Better get back in line in a hurry. Here's the thing about Menard. He went to the inside, tried to make a pass a couple laps ago. He didn't make it, and look where he ended up. He's all the way back in 6th spot. He was trying to battle for the lead there just a few laps ago.
Harvick looking on the bottom, nothing there. What I like about this is nobody's running away.
Not at all.
Clint Boyer trying to hold off Daniel Hemrick. Wow.
And that looked like the 9 car Chase Elliott going after the 14 Clint Boyer. And again, he got side by side, did not complete the pass. That allowed Daniel Hemrick to get a nice draft.
10 laps complete in Michigan. Joey Logano has been out front for 7 of them. It's here and it's available today at your local Chevy dealer. The all-new Silverado. The strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. 14 laps complete in Michigan. 1 day later, but Joey Logano leading Kevin Harvick. And about 5 to go to the competition caution. Watch Kyle Larson in the 42 top of your screen.
Yeah, he sees these 2 side drafted. He goes to the inside. Sorry, that's actually William Byron goes to the inside. Larson says, no, I've got the run. I'm going to go straight to the middle. Goes by both of them.
And Larson picks up 2 spots there. So he is +4 from the start of the race.
What I'm seeing, not only do you have to have a good race car, but you've got to be strategic in how you make your moves, how you get the run. You can't just go up there and get a run like this and pass it. Now he's got to use that side draft, hope that that momentum takes him into the corner and clears that car, as it is going to work for Larson. And you hope somebody behind you chooses to go along with you.
Yeah, you just pull out, Jeff, and it's like hitting a wall. You just stall. There's no air to pull you forward.
Kyle Busch trying to put the move on Ryan Newman, who had to pedal it a couple of laps ago off turn 2 when things jammed up in front of him. And that loss of momentum for Newman put him back 4 spots below where he started.
I think Kyle Busch is having a whole lot of fun right now.
He's not going anywhere.
No, he hasn't.
Forward, he's going backward.
This is for 3rd place, 3/4 of a second behind the lead. So, Larry, we're going to have that competition yellow because of the overnight rain. What are we going to see?
Yeah, Mike, we were talking about this at our meeting earlier today, and you just have to be careful as a crew chief of either over-adjusting or under-adjusting for 2 reasons. One, the track was green, no rubber whatsoever on it after all the rain we've had. And the other big variable, these tires are the ones they qualified on over 48 hours ago. Saturday morning, they've been sitting for 2 days, and now every set of tires that goes on there will be a set of stickers. So you feel like, okay, I need to adjust it, but I don't need to go crazy until I see what we've got once the rubber goes down and we start putting sticker tires on.
Yeah, you know this, Larry and Jeff, when you have the tires you qualified on, that heat cycle, kind of cures them out, makes them a little bit harder than the fresh rubber you're getting ready to put on that hadn't been on the car before. So that can change the way your car handles dramatically.
Suarez coming back after Ricky Stenhouse. 2 Fords with Kyle Busch's Toyota just behind. 18th place. Eric Almirola had a great qualifying run here. Started outside pole, but during our last practice, he also had the best long run averages over both 15 and 20 laps. So that's a car that's fast, but also looked like it would handle really well today.
Yeah, I think he's pretty content to be right here in 3rd place. I mean, Logano said, Mike, I got to be out front. My car is set up to run out front, and he's been able to stay there. I think that the 4 and the 8 and the 10 both are pretty comfortable right here until we get that caution.
Flagman has the caution flag in hand, has yet to display it.
And we saw Denny Hamlin starting to lose a few positions, yet his teammate Eric Jones has been flying up through the mid-pack.
Yeah, watch that 11 car, Jeff. I think he's pushing really bad. He gets really high off both corners, loses a lot of ground.
Joey Logano completes 20 laps. The field now coming down the front straightaway and cycling through. Back to about 30th place.
Put it out, put it out. This will be the competition caution.
So what we learned in 20 laps?
Well, we learned that Joey Logano's got a fast car. He's out front. Kevin Harvick's right there with him. And I know it's not a big surprise, but Almirola's right there with these guys too. Paul Menard's got a great car, and Jones has really moved up through the field.
Eric Jones started 14th. He's gained 9 spots, more than anyone. He is from Byron. Keselowski from Rochester Hills. No Michigan-born driver has ever won a Cup race here on their home track.
In this race, both of them have said, this is like our Daytona 500. This is our home track. Our family's here. Our friends are here. They want to win this race as much as they want to win any race on the schedule.
Just almost wonder if I wouldn't be a little nervous to have a really good race car right now. I think there's just so much that this track has changed over that first run and what's going to happen on this next set of tires and as this race progresses.
And the sun pokes through as we look forward to tomorrow. All eyes will be on Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd, and the U.S. Women's National Team in group play against Thailand. Coverage begins 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific. All matches of the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup live on Fox or FS1 and streaming on the Fox Sports app. So NASCAR will open pit road. When they start the race with a competition caution coming, teams are not allowed to stop and add fuel prior to the display of the competition yellow. So now they'll be in for Sunoco race fuel and Goodyear tires.
And there's some fast talking going on right now, Mike. These drivers are telling those crew chiefs what I need.
Regan Smith.
Well, Paul Menard's going to pit from the 4th position. His race power has been very good so far. Just a touch on the free side, especially when he is above the seam in turns 3 and 4. They're going to do 2 tires on this race car. That should tighten him up. No other adjustments. Matt?
Only one top 10 for Eric Almirola here at MIS. He was free on entry down in turn 1. The balance was good everywhere else. His teammate Kevin Harvick pitting in box 4. He pitted at this end of the racetrack last year. He was free in turns 1 and 2. And Joey Logano, he will follow the 11 and Hamlin off. Hamlin was loose. Logano said he was a little bit tight down in 1 and 2. Comfort was great in 3 and 4.
A lot of varying strategies, including some gas only, and Kevin Harvick losing 7 spots. We'll recap after this. We have found video of the alleged performance Friday night that we spoke of yesterday. Yes, that's Jeff Gordon on guitar. What's Kyle Larson doing? Checking his phone?
Yeah, he's checking his phone. Bubba Wallace back there on the drums. These boys were putting on a show. And you hear the song they're singing?
Yeah.
This
and then Bubba went to work.
Bubba Wallace, unbelievable on the drums. Got a lot of talent.
And that's just a typical Friday night at the track.
Safe to say, a good time was had by all.
A fun time out there in the infield.
So we had drivers taking on fuel only. Now watch Jimmy Johnson. He takes on gas only, and as he starts to come out of his pit stall, Matt DiBenedetto on the left is coming in.
And this is where communication is so important between the spotter, the crew chief, and the team, and how you've got to pay attention to that car that's going to be coming down pit road when you do gas and go, and you're not going to be in your box for very long.
It's a pretty big hit, Jamie.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage on the right front. Unfortunate for the 48 team. They had a really good practice session, both practice sessions Friday. He was doing good, said the car felt good up until this point, but that miscommunication now has caused him to come down pit road 3 different times now.
Yeah, Jimmy, it actually lifted that 95 up off the ground just a little bit, so it hit him pretty hard.
And Kevin Harvick lost 7 spots. What did you see there, Larry?
Yeah, they were a little bit slow on the right front. You can see the comparison right there between Joey Logano's 22. That's about a 1.5 second difference, both of them changing right side tires, Mike.
We're back under green. Logano choosing the outside. Denny Hamlin inside. Joey drops right down in front of the 11.
I think we see out of Joey exactly what he said. I've got to have clean air. I've got my car set up to run out front and lead this race, and so far, so good.
But what impressed me so much about Joey Logano, he lost the lead to Denny Hamlin, which he might do again here, but was able to regain it. So he's got a pretty good Hamlin race car, not just a fast race car.
It looked to me like the 11 car might be a little tight, Jeff. He was pushing up the hill before that caution, and he looks a little tight right here on this restart.
Well, and I don't know if 2 tires are going to help Denny Hamlin with that condition.
Almirola leading that inside lane, and now Logano drops down in front of it. Hamlin looked outside, nothing there. They're going to try to single file it out here.
Sorry, I was wrong. I thought Denny took 2 tires, but he's actually fuel only.
What about the 11, Matt?
And Chris Gabehart told me before the race the biggest adjustment he can make to that 11 car is track position. They went with fuel only. The car was free that first run. Slight chassis adjustment. The car was on the splitter. We'll see how it does at the beginning of this run if it still holds true.
Martin Truex, where'd he come from?
Right now, he's sitting in 3rd place. And Mike, if you look at the numbers, I mean, if you look at his finishes over the last 6 or 7 weeks, he should win today based on what he's done over the last few weeks.
They had a quick stop and restarted 5th, taking on fuel only. Truex now 3rd.
Yeah, he sounded pretty confident when the race started, and here he is. Worked his way right up into the battle for the lead.
And you could tell in that first 20-lap run, he had a good race car. He could run lower on the racetrack than just about anybody he was around.
Mike, a lot of experimenting going on right now. Where to pass, when to pass, how do I make a pass? Because with this aero package, this engine package, you don't just pull out and go by somebody. As Jeff said a bit ago, you got to kind of strategize a little bit when you're going to make your move.
Almirola backing up to 5th as Eric Jones comes around the outside, and Brad Keselowski joins that battle.
Jones has done a nice job of working his way right to the front. He's running 4th right now, or he was.
Unfortunately, he's got 2 Fords that want to gang up on him. But Brad Keselowski and Eric Almirola.
And there's Bowman. I mean, he's got himself in, with a good stop.
Bowman also, along with Eric Jones and the 19 and Mark Truex Jr., working their way up through mid-pack at the start of this race and up to the front now.
Alex Bowman gained a lot of spots in the first 20 laps, and then he took on fuel only to get a good restart position.
Well, I didn't hear anybody say that they were worried about tire wear. I think sticker tires that we documented early in this, I think they make your car better. But if you got a good car and you're happy, just gas it and go.
Well, let's watch Kurt Busch make a bold move. Yeah, I thought for sure he would not just ride in behind on the rear bumper of the 2 car. I thought he would take up 3 wide.
2nd place on the right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. not going to complete this pass, and now see Eric Almirola lining up using the draft at 11 at Hamlin. Here comes the 20 teammate to Mark Truex Jr.
I think that's what we're seeing, Mike, is everybody is kind of playing around right now. How am I going to make a pass? Because, again, you don't just drive by somebody. You got to set him up.
See Paul Menard kind of stall out here, trying to get to the inside of the 4 of Kevin Harvick, and Harvick gets the boot from Austin Dillon.
He sure did. You know, Kevin Harvick lost that track position, not seeing the strength out of his car, even though he has a little bit fresher tires than some of those around him.
Second place. There's a guy that's got a fast race car. That 10 car of Almirola, that thing is fast.
Yeah, but if he doesn't complete this pass on Denny Hamlin, I see a lot of cars that might line up on the outside lane.
Boy, Kurt Busch likes the inside, doesn't he?
You see the 22 drop down, try to help the 10, get the 10 up to the...
Oh, this is going to help Almirola right here. Kind of surprising on that move. Mark Truex Jr. is a teammate to Denny Hamlin.
Everybody's your friend at this point of the race. If you can get somebody can help you, you go with them. Now
Truex is saying, hey, Eric Jones, could you help me out with that same favor?
That was a crossover on the straightaway.
Well, you just can't break that momentum. When you've got the run and somebody else's momentum gets broken, you've just got to keep it going. It kind of reminds me of Daytona and Talladega.
But Truex has another great launch. So does Harvick.
Here comes Harvick.
Yep. And Menard.
And there goes Menard.
Kurt Busch just does not give up. He's the only Chevrolet in the top 8, but he keeps diving to the bottom and trying to complete those passes.
I tell you what, though, Mike, I watched that 4 car. He can hold his own down the straightaway. He's a little, I've seen this for several weeks now, a little quicker down the straightaway than most.
I'd be really curious to watch Denny Hamlin. I've seen him run a little bit higher line, almost getting out into the gray. I don't know if that's because his car's taking him out there, or is he finding a little bit of grip out there?
We listened in on the Ganassi team and the number 1.
Gotta be here in the right front. Doesn't quite like the air in the right front. If it is, I'll let you know later.
I don't know if they're talking about air getting to the nose of the right front or air pressure in the right front tire.
I don't know what he's talking about either, but I can tell you something. That guy is always thinking.
Yeah, and they did take 2 tires on that last stop, so that might just be some information getting back to his crew chief about, hey, you know, maybe let's think about lowering that air pressure on the right front tire.
35 complete, 60 laps in stage 1. We salute the fans who came back for this late Monday afternoon race, like this young fella. Side by side at Michigan. Now 21 laps to go in stage 1. Look how close they run.
When was the last time we saw bump drafting at Michigan?
I wouldn't like that. I know that. If push me off in the corner, I'm already loose.
We're going to see it all day.
Look how they're lined up, Mike. I mean, nobody's getting away from anybody. We're playing pretty bunched up here, which is what this package does. It keeps you in a tight group.
The guys who hate that are fellows like Boyer, Larson, and Busch. They're back in 13 through 15 and just have not been able to gain ground since the restart.
Mike, you got to embrace it. Whatever it is, you got to embrace it. This is the rules. This is the package. Let's work on it. Make it work.
Yeah, but there's guys that are liking it, like Kevin Harvick. Yeah, he got shuffled back, didn't have a great pit stop, but he has a fast race car, and he's been making up spots just about every other lap.
Actually, Larson's gained 9 since the restart. Kyle Busch has gained 4. But they're mid-pack while we watch Eric Jones hold on to second ahead of Kurt Busch, Almirola and Harvick. The top 5.
Harvick's done a nice job. I mean, the slow pit stop got way back, but he's worked his way back up in the top 5. Got a good car.
Boy, is that sunlight.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Something we haven't seen.
I know it's been a while. But that's sunlight. It does not get dark here till about 9:15 at night.
Yeah, I think Kurt Busch, boy, if he didn't touch the wall, it was very, very close. And that's going to cost Kevin Harvick some spots.
It took Harvick right with him. I'm not sure if he touched the wall or not, but
you see the 10 of Almirola running a little bit wide. Oh, he gets loose. Oh, yeah, he got it.
A little right rear damage.
That caused Harvick to have to check up a little bit.
Ooh.
Wow.
And we've seen where it does not take much damage on that right rear or any of those right sides to push that fender in on the tire and cut it down.
Great camera work. Kevin Harvick lost his momentum there, Matt. Fell back to 7th.
That hiccup might cost him big. He's finally back in line. Harvick telling Rodney Childers that we've hurt the front end. It's not turning, and we have absolutely no grip at this juncture.
Denny Hamlin restarted outside the front row. He's back to 14th after taking fuel only.
Yeah. Really wide off of turn 4 there. I think you're right, DW. I think that car's very tight.
And he didn't change tires. You know, I was surprised they didn't change tires. I think the car is really, really tight. He shoves up the hill almost on both ends of the track.
And we heard where Chris Gabehart said, if I just give you clean air and get you out front, get you track position, I think you'll be fine. Well, we saw how hard Denny Hamlin fought to get the lead to try to get that clean air, but once he didn't get it, it's really been costly.
Yeah, I think he's abusing that right front tire right now because that car is just way, way too tight. I think that was a concern a lot of guys had, Mike, that they were going to be loose in the race or around other cars, and I think it's turning out to be just the opposite.
Hamlin back to 16th now after restarting 2nd. Joey Logano has now led 40 of 43 laps. 12 laps to go in stage 1 under mostly cloudy skies here in Michigan. The sun pokes out. Joey Logano continues to lead. He's been out front for 45 laps now, but the new second-place car is Eric Almirola. Here's how he passed Eric Jones for 2nd place.
Yeah, he gets a nice run off of turn 4. Has a car behind him too, but he just pulls down, gets right to the edge of the rear bumper of that 20 car, and that pulls him ahead, allows him to keep that momentum going into the corner. I mean, Eric Almirola's car is handling so well that he just made that look easy. Now, can he do it on our leader, Joey Logano?
Logano actually, I think, helped him make that pass, Jeff, down into turn 1 there. I'd be surprised if that 22 looks like you can follow me, but I just don't know if you can pass me.
And I almost wonder if the 20 of Eric Jones in that situation, did he have to check up a little bit coming off the corner, and Eric Almirola saw that.
Top 4, 2 Fords, 1 Toyota, 1 Chevrolet, and then Kurt Busch in 5th. Regan.
Well, a few laps ago, we saw Kurt Busch brush the wall coming off of turn 2. He asked the team to check it very calmly on his radio. Very calm, cool, and collected from Kurt. They checked it, said the right rear fender looks fine. The report from the driver, just a little bit looser with the race car since he's hit that wall.
Okay, 3rd place changes hands. Bowman moving up.
Yeah, you know, now, Mike, sometime you will say, look, I can't move forward. This is as good as I can do. I'll let you go. I think he pulled up, but I'll let you go. I'm not going to fight you, and maybe I can follow you through.
That's twice now coming off the corners. First time off of turn 4 for Eric Jones, where Eric Almirola got a run, and then that last time by, that was off of turn 2, where Eric Jones lost a little more momentum again, allowing the 88 of Bowman to get by.
Well, I think what he's seeing is the 22 and the 10 are hooked up, and they're driving off and leaving the 88 and the 20. So I think they're trying to figure out, can we work together and catch back up with that pair in the front here?
What do you think of Joey Logano's line leading this race? He's been a lane and a half up from the bottom at least the last 10 laps.
Well, I think with this engine package, Mike, you don't have the acceleration. You got 550 horsepower. I said it when we were qualifying. You got to let the car have its head. And if you don't want to turn the wheel any more than you have to. So he's just running a free line and not really putting any wheel in it, trying to get the most speed he can out of his car.
Yeah, and I just think, I mean, Eric Almirola's car is very good right around the bottom, so he is giving Eric an opportunity, but it's pretty tough to get up alongside that leader. But we're going to see if he keeps opening that door up for Eric Almirola. I think he might take advantage of it.
I just think back to qualifying. Remember how Joey went way high into turn 3, and we said, wow, that's a different line. Whoa, here comes a Ford to pit road.
Well, this is Kevin Harvick gives up 10th place here.
Can't imagine this being a strategy play, because this track, it's so fast, and that pit road is so slow. I would imagine, unless he just does a gas and go, he'll lose a lap, Matt.
Jeff, 2 laps ago, Kevin Harvick said he had a loose wheel. He diagnosed it left front. He just told Rodney Childers, I'm coming. We are going to have to go all 4. Shane Papala on the front, Daniel Smith in the back. They're already around to the left side. Stan Doolittle. Pump car goes up, wheels are on. We'll see where this is going to shake out for the 4.
And for the lead, Eric Almirola in traffic, trying to best Joey Logano as they work through these rookie drivers.
Wow, this battle is definitely not over.
Now, Almirola is trapped in behind the slower cars. Joey Logano, that experience, that knowledge, he knew exactly what lane to go in and where to go. And now you see Bowman here. He's going to try to go by along with Jones. So Almirola really made he's made another bad decision right there, getting behind that lap car.
Garrett Smithley in the 15 this week. And here comes Eric Jones to the inside and Kurt Busch.
We don't have the outright speed these guys do. I can out-handle them, I can out-corner them, can't out-straightaway them.
That's what I see.
Boy, these two almost made contact. You could tell the 20. I thought Eric Jones maybe was having to lift and the handling was an issue. It's just sheer speed. His car's handling really well. Those guys just have a little more straightaway speed.
It just seems like the Fords are a little quicker down the straightaway.
Truex has caught that group, and behind them, Kyle Larson just made a breakout move, passing 4 cars to the inside in turn 2. There he is, leading that next back.
Yeah, and Almirola, he did what he thought was right. It wasn't like there was a right or a wrong. He just got behind a lap car and couldn't get out behind him. So it wasn't like he'd done something that he shouldn't have done. He just it didn't work out for him.
Well, he made one great move to go to the outside. It was pretty bold and risky, and he got the lead for a split second, but unfortunately he came up on those lap cars and then had nowhere to go.
Jamie Alex Bowman's got them right where he wants him.
Yes, he does. Started this race 20th, worked his way all the way up to second. He's all over Joey Logano. Greg Ives told me they took a different approach here. He actually looked at Alex's notes from the Xfinity Series race last year. The philosophy and the drivability, that's what they were focused on, running in the pack. They knew they'd give up speed, and they did in qualifying, but they are exactly where they need to be. Fuel only on the first stop. The car is good.
Mike, you know, I think I'm correct about this. You know, the last time the 88 won at this track, it was Father's Day weekend. Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Wow. Top 5 from 5 different race teams.
That's impressive.
You know, I talked to a lot of teams that qualified mid-pack, and I said, did you go with more downforce and maybe add a little drag and your car's going to race better? And they said, we did, but we didn't expect to qualify that bad.
Yeah. 2 laps to go, stage 1. Pits are closed. And going to be more lappers up ahead for Logano and Bowman.
Now, Mike, the 22 car makes this look easy. But let me tell you, you got to have a good handling car to sit out there and lead these guys around the racetrack the way he's doing right now. He's obviously standing the gas a little bit better than most of them.
Now, the first car 1 lap down right now is Kevin Harvick after that pit stop. 3rd place, Jones side by side with Almirola. Kurt Busch looking on.
After seeing that crazy battle happen when they caught lap traffic's going to play a big role in this race at some point.
A tip of the hat to all those guys there. You know, the 20 and the 10 and the 1. I mean, they're doing a really nice job. The 20 and the 1. Here's Kurt Busch hanging right in there.
Who is going to win stage 1? Alex Bowman, a car length behind Joey Logano through 3. This time Logano goes to the bottom in 3 and 4. And by 1 car length, Joey Logano holds off Alex Bowman. Eric Jones, Almirola, Kurt Busch, Martin Truex. And Joey Logano has his 6th stage win of 2019, the most of all NASCAR Cup drivers. Stage 1 is complete in Michigan. Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, and Kyle Larson all getting some much-needed stage points, while Joey Logano, the stage winner, adds 1 playoff point to his collection.
Tell you what, Mike, that 22 is going to be hard to get out of the lead. If they do good, if they get a good pit stop, got the #1 pit stall, he's going to be hard to shake out of that lead.
Landon Castle gets the free pass.
But I think if you listen to Joey Logano, he said, I got to stay out front, and he's doing all he can.
Pits are open, Jamie.
It was a really good stage one for the 88 bunch, and Alex Bowman, he said he's just a tad free in, but overall, not bad. They didn't take tires that first stop. There's a tear up for clear view. He'll take 4 tires here and fuel, no adjustments. Regan.
Eric Jones finds his pit stall. There was no fuel or no tires on the first stop for him. This time they're going to try and get even with the competition on tires. The car is too tight in turns 1 and 2, but very good through turns 3 and 4. 4 tires, Matt.
Joey Logano trying to score his 3rd Michigan win from the pole. He said the car was loose on entry, clean air. Not quite sure what it's going to do in dirty air and air pressure change. Meanwhile, the 10 of Almirola, he was loose the first run, tight the second air pressure adjustment on the 10.
Joey Logano wins the race off pit road from Alex Bowman. Everybody with 4 tires. And Keselowski and Boyer both had big gains on that pit stop.
You know, I was so impressed with Eric Jones that first stage to come up through the field like that. What do you say we dial him up? Hey, Eric, Jeff and the guys up in the Fox Sports booth, you got us? Just give him one more try here. Eric Jones, hey, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me? What is it about those JGRs? Oh, here we go.
Channel 2.
Hey, Eric Jones. Trying you again. Hey, up in the Fox Sports booth, man. You got me?
I got you.
There you are. Man, what a run you are having lately. Not just today, but lately. And that was so impressive. Looks like you've got a really good handling race car. Tell us about the speed, what you're seeing around your competitors. You got enough for them?
Yeah, I mean, it drives really well. The grass with Camry is handling well on both ends. But, you know, just need a tick more speed, I think, to really get up and try to lead this thing. So try to work on that, get it a little bit better. But been happy here all weekend with my race car. And I think even had Chris a little nervous after practice with how happy I was with it. So it's been good so far. Brightening up, rubbering in, so the track's going to keep changing. But I think we got a good race car for today.
All right, looking good. Fun to watch. Appreciate it.
Made his crew chief nervous. He was so happy.
Joey Logano, 2-time Michigan winner, has won stage 1. Kevin Harvick was going to take the wave around to get back on the lead lap, but he pitted for 4 tires and now is coming down pit road once more. So he will stay 1 lap down with this stop.
Yeah, Mike, I think there must be a concern about that left front tire. They're having an issue they're trying to resolve.
Now, Jamie McMurray's been watching the restarts, and especially where you can go where nobody is.
Yeah, guys, I noticed on that last restart, we've talked about how you want to stay in the rubber here because that's where the grip is. But when they got to turn 1 on that last restart, Austin Dillon went to no man's land and went all the way to the gray. Look at the momentum that he carries all the way through turns 1 and 2. He passed 2 or 3 rows, and what I think you're going to see there is that every spotter and those drivers that were around Austin Dillon put that in the bank, and on this restart, I think you're going to see more guys up there.
Hey, Jamie, I know that they weren't fully up to speed, but were you a little surprised how much grip there was still up there for Austin Dillon and some of these guys?
Oh, yeah, I was shocked I was first off shocked that Austin took the chance so early in the race to make that work. But yeah, I mean, this track is notorious for being dirty and extremely slick when you get up there, but I don't think the cars are up to speed yet. And, you know, the most critical part of that is that you can't have a car in front of you when you're doing that, because if you do, you don't have the grip from the track, but you also don't have the air on your car.
Thanks, Jamie. Logano and Bowman will be up front for the restart. Matt Tifft was too fast entering pit road, so he'll restart at the back of the 30 cars that are on the lead lap. 31 lead lap cars. Here they come to the Geico restart zone for stage 2.
Pretty good restart for that 88 car. He's holding his own with a 22 right here as they head off turn 1. But Jones is going to give Logano a shove that may put him out front.
Your help at 19. Here comes your help. Still too wide. Quarterback now inside 88.
Boy, Kyle Busch got really wide. Don't know if he's trying to be aggressive on that restart, but he just about got the wall.
Joey Logano is giving every impression of being hard to handle today. Bubba Wallace is called for a restart violation.
Mike, that 22 car is fast in all the right places. He's fast down the straightaway. He's handling good through the turns. You just can't get a run on him.
How about this 19 car, Martin Truex Jr.?
Gonna have to have some help.
Oh, not coming from his teammate Eric Jones. Woo! Did you see how close Martin Truex Jr.?
Hey, and look at Boyer. He found his way back in here after falling way back on the start.
Oh man, he's going to be a little bit upset. He's not going to complete that pass. He was in front of the 19 of Truex until they got to turn 3.
Now he's going to drop way down, try to break the draft to get rid of that side draft. I don't know if that's going to work or not.
Yikes. Oh, he door slammed Ryan Blaney. Sent Blaney to the bottom.
And once you dive inside that guy, you've got to jump back up in front of him because Boyer might get back. Yeah, there he goes back to the outside of Blaney.
Yeah, Blaney didn't do to Boyer what Boyer did to him.
Instead of give and take, it's more like take and take.
Right. I'll apologize later.
Caution out off the 2. Caution out off the 2. Saving fuel here.
The 51 has tagged the wall. Kyle Weatherman.
Boy, he sure did.
Got a lot of parts flying
taking
here.
That P40 Flying Tiger paint scheme. He's lost his rudder and his horizontal stabilizer.
It's tethered.
Now, Kevin Harvick has had his issues and a bunch of extra pit stops early in the going here. Matt?
Mike, think back to that first 4-tire stop when Harvick said he had the vibration. They took the left front off. Excessive wear on that shoulder area. It was down to the cords. He went back out and he said actually the vibration was worse. They brought him back recently here, checked the lugs on all 4. They were tight. Now he says the vibration, which still exists, is not in the left front area. It's a consistent vibration in the car, so they're still chasing it.
Well, the good news for Harvick is he's the first car 1 lap down at the time of caution. He's back on the lead lap, but that's the outside left front tire shoulder there.
And Larry, you know, this is something you'll typically see when the track is green after heavy rain overnight on that first run. Do you think that's all this is, or is there more of an issue there?
Well, that's definitely on the outside of the left front. And what we did notice with Kevin Harvick, he was running the bottom of the racetrack early in the race when the track had no rubber. Let's kind of explain camber with our Fox cutaway car here. And we'll show you a front camber in the front tires, because what you do, you put positive camber in the left front. You put negative camber in the right front, which means they're leaning to the inside of the racetrack. That would be the left front right there. And what it wore was that edge right there. NASCAR says you can only run so much camber, but a lot of times, especially Jeff DW and Mike, if the track is green and you're excessive camber, that's when you'll wear that shoulder out.
Thanks, Larry.
And I don't think the two are related. The vibration that Kevin Harvick's dealing with and that excessive wear on the tire. I think he's got something else going on.
Yeah, it sounds like it, Jeff. I think that tire, they thought that was maybe the problem, and now they've changed the tire and they know the lugs are tight. Some other issue.
This fall, a whole new era begins. Fox becomes the new network home of WWE's SmackDown Live every Friday night beginning October 4th. Only on Fox. In Michigan, 11 laps complete in stage 2 of this 400-miler. Joey Logano, 67 of the 71 laps so far. He's been out front and hard to handle. Eric Jones in second, Martin Truex third, both for Toyota. Then the Fords of Boyer and Blaney. Alex Bowman is the top Chevy in the race in sixth.
If you look at the back of the 22 car of Logano, and you look at the back of the 20 car right behind him, the 22 is much lower in the back, which gives him a lot of speed. The 20 car looks a little high in the back, which gives him a lot of downforce. You're not talking about huge numbers. We're talking about 100,000s one way or another. But I think that 22 is set up for speed.
Whoa. No pit strategy going on here.
That was close.
I mean, I don't know if they're close to their fuel window on making it to the end of this stage. But Jamie, what do you got in the 88?
Well, Jeff, the call for the 88, 2 seconds of fuel. That should get him right to the end of stage number 2.
Jeff, this definitely gets them to the end of stage number 2 right here. In fact, I go back to Kevin Harvick in that 4 car. I think with when they pitted with these cautions, he can even make it, even though right now he is a lap down.
9 cars did not pit.
More of an issue on the 48 now on the right rear for Jimmy Johnson.
I think all this is happening on pit road, too.
Watch that red 12 car. Would you want him right in front of you on the freeway?
Excuse me.
Sure. Early on, coming out of his pit, he bumped into the 95. Here's Johnson following Michael McDowell down pit road. McDowell slows to enter his pit, and whammo. Matt Tifft is the victim as Johnson makes a sharp right.
You think all you need to do is have a spotter on the racetrack, but that spotter's played an important role for Jimmy Johnson here today.
And that right there is bad news. You might get away with a little damage that right front. You damage that right rear.
Yeah, that's a critical corner.
Not going to drive good at all.
So once again, Johnson will start at the back of the lead lap. Ricky Stenhouse had a safety violation on the first caution flag of the day. It's been a little tough for him or anybody else that's been penalized to rebound here or who's made extra stops.
Yeah, I think the cars are so equal, Mike, it's hard to get an advantage on anybody.
Now, Kevin Harvick is back on the lead lap. After wave around, there's only 3 cars 1 lap down: Smithley, Hauff, and Balicki. Back under green, Joey Logano leads the way.
You're welcome.
That's Boyer's radio.
Thank you. Good move.
Boy, Eric Jones might be in a little trouble here if he gets stuck on that bottom lane. They're all lined up on the outside.
He's in a lot of trouble. That's not going to work out so well for the 20-car Jones. Everybody's going by.
No help. Everybody lined up at the top.
Boy, what a nice rebound for Larson in the 42, and he's not done. He's going after Boyer.
Remember, these two had an issue last week in Pocono and got together. Nice move by Larson.
Eric Jones holding his own on the deep inside.
Well, that helped him out with Larson going to the outside of 14, stalled him out a little bit, and that allowed Eric Jones not to lose more spots than he did.
Yeah, he might be able to get up right here in this opening, maybe.
Gonna force the issue on Bowman.
Yeah, he made it in, but I think Bowman let him in.
I think he had a crowbar.
I think he prized his way in, right?
Yep, exactly.
Boy, look at Larson working that high line, just right there on the edge of the gray and where the rubber's laid into the racetrack.
Joey Logano now with teammate Ryan Blaney in tow. 2 Fords at the front. Larson, Chevy, Keselowski, and Boyer.
That's the best news Joey Logano's had all day long, because that is his teammate, so he might be a little bit more content with riding in second. I can promise you, if Larson or some of those other guys that are back there, like we saw Amarola earlier, now Boyer, they're going to want to go to the lead.
Here's Jamie McMurray about our leader.
Yeah, guys, I just have been watching Joey Logano. We know how good he is at Daytona and Talladega, and we're watching him kind of manipulate his line to make sure he stays in front, gets in the corner, he's trying to take the air off of those cars. And when we're watching the race today, it almost reminds us of kind of a small Daytona Talladega, where we see the guys getting this single file line, and you have to make a decision of if you can clear that car when you get to the corner, because when someone gets hung out, that's got to be so frustrating for the drivers down these long straightaways to see all those cars going to their outside.
You know, Jamie, sometimes you just hit everything perfect. I mean, Logano won the pole. He ran a perfect lap qualifying. I think they've got the right balance in the car. He's got enough balance in the car to the rear that is fast, but he's got enough in it to also make it go through the turns pretty comfortably. So he's in a catbird seat right now.
Well, I'm going to be very curious. At some point, you know, Jamie, that at some point he's going to lose that track position. That's where we're going to find out how good Logano truly is.
Oh, Jeff and EW, I totally agree. Right now, he's in the perfect position, but if for some reason with strategy or if they have a bad pit stop, if he gets to the back, we'll find out how good of a car he has. The other guy that I've been watching, though, is Kyle Larson, because Kyle Larson is getting up above that black area that you see in the corners, and it's really edgy, and it's a big risk versus reward going up there. He got to the outside of Clint Boyer, and that's the easier pass once you get to the outside of him. But, man, is that edgy to step out above that rubber, not knowing how much grip the car's going to have.
You're right, Jimmy. He likes to ride that wall, and he's getting closer and closer to it every lap.
Yeah, Kyle Larson is his risk versus reward is much different than the rest of the field out there today.
Now, since the restart, Kevin Harvick is the biggest mover, +8. Bubba Wallace is up 6 spots, and Kurt Busch is up 3. Let's get down to our leaders pit. Matt.
Mike, great observation by Jamie McMurray and Jeff Gordon just about what they're seeing in DW. You touched on it as well. It seems like the action is happening more down in 1 and 2. TJ Majors told Joey under that last caution that it seems like 1 and 2 is much more sensitive. We've been in the clean air, but if we get in dirty air, that could be where we have issues.
Yeah, TJ Majors, of all the spotters on the top of the stand, I've heard Dale Jr. say this. I think Joey feels the same way. TJ Majors is one of the best spotters that you can have up there calling a race like this. And I think Joey and Todd Gordon, they communicate so well, Mike. There's such trust there that when Joey tells Todd something, Todd listens, and vice versa. I really think they've got the right combination.
Harvick keeps coming. He's now up 10 since the restart.
He has an incredibly fast race car. I've been watching him, and he's just picking them off one by one. He can go outside, to the middle, to the inside.
And if you're going to have a problem, have it early like they did, get it resolved, and then you can go back to racing and get yourself back up to the front. I don't know what they were doing in and out of the pits, but they were working on that car, and I think they must have fixed it.
Martin Truex back in 10th place. Regan.
Well, they pitted on that last stop for fuel only, Mike, and the plan was to basically make sure they could make it to the end. Cole Pern, crew chief, said, I would rather have our car in 10th place with enough fuel than 3rd place and question it. These guys are working off of 2 numbers, much like we would in the super speedway. If they are out front and in clean air, they're working off a number of laps that they think they can make it that is different than the number of laps if they are drafting by about 4 laps today.
Is it only coincidence that Cole Pern's pit is right next to the Canadian flag?
It's got to be a coincidence.
Boy, Larson that time goes to the inside, but not able to make it stick.
Well, we know Kyle Larson loves this racetrack. He won both races. He's won California 2-mile track. He's won here on the 2-mile track. He really thrives on a track like this.
Kevin Harvick for 12th against William Byron.
Look at that car just roll around the bottom. No drafting help or any other partners needed to help him complete that pass of William Byron and bringing along the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Of 60 laps in stage 2 complete. Joey Logano still out front. Laps complete. Kyle Larson Chevrolet drew a bead on Ryan Blaney for 2nd place. And completed the pass.
He'd been working on the 12 of Blaney. First he tried the outside several times, couldn't make that stick. The 2 of Keselowski actually got to the inside of Larson a couple of times. I think he said, all right, I might have to do this on the bottom of the racetrack, and then he made that stick. So obviously a really good race car for Kyle Larson today and some fun moves.
I think there's guys like Larson that can really worry Logano to death. I just don't think they can pass him.
Well, we were talking about fuel mileage. Some of those teams that came down pit road topped off. Some of this not getting good fuel mileage, and that is our leader right now, Joey Logano, out there up front.
Halfway through stage number 2, side by side for 5th. You know what goes well with pasta on a Monday night?
I know.
A Monday night NASCAR, crank it up.
It'd be a really long stretch. I would just stick with the plan here. Just try and keep with those lead cars. Got the 19 with him. No help yet. 3's coming to push the 20. Watch your very bottom.
Pushing
still outside.
Pushing you.
Covered.
Inside 4. Still inside. Inside. Inside.
Still
1.5 back to the 3.
Still there.
You're hitting it just like Jeff does.
So 1.5 back 3.
That's not true.
In line. They're just turning earlier than us on the exit.
Clear.
Have any help out back from the start finish line on 3 back?
Little gain off of 2, back to 1.5 here.
3 a lane lower. He went to the line this time at 3 and 4. 2 on the line. Come back up behind you here. Here in your track. 2 back. He's still clear by 3.
1 up to the 88, half up to the 88.
Maybe he'll help us.
Clear.
Outside corner, bumper clear. There you go. 2 rides behind.
With you? With you tight, 4 working in 88. Clear with 2 back, 3. 3 is 3 back over the runway. Watch your very bottom. 3 gets up.
2 back and 3. 1 back half with you. Inside now. He's got trailers with him, 18 with you. 3 only inside.
Clear high. Clear by 1 to 88.
So just in there, 19 with you. You're clear. Hey, hit me.
Inside. Sure. Quarter tight. 7 out the back ahead. Evened up. Still there. 4 car lengths about 20 back ahead.
Chase Elliott trying to fight his way into the top 5 against Clint Boyer, and you saw damage on the back of the 88 of Alex Bowman. That came from his teammate, Chase Elliott.
Well, just trying to get down underneath of him and clipped him in the left rear.
Boy, it just peeled that left rear corner of the bumper.
Jamie?
And Alex wasn't really sure if there was contact, and he asked Greg Ives, his crew chief, did Chase get into me? They said yes. He said, I am sideways. My car is so free. They said it's really flared out. Hang on to it. And they also told him he's in a good spot to make it to the end. So to hold on to that car so they can get some stage points.
Yeah, just a slight misjudgment as the 9 of Chase Elliott went to go to the inside. We've seen where these runs and where you get position on their quarter panel, how that helps you complete the pass. As we see Boyer have a big issue through 1 and 2.
Boy, he lost a lot of momentum there as he had to check up. Eric Jones to the inside. And let's get back up front to our leader and Matt.
Mike, impressive work by TJ Majors, Joey Logano, spotter. Great observation about the 42 of Larson. He says that he gets a great run off turn 4. That's where he may have a great chance to try to set you up going down into 1. But where Larson loses it in the center of 1 and 2 to off, that's where you start to stretch it out a little bit. Just trying to get in different pieces of information so he can pull the defense.
And guys, let's talk about these drivers that did not pit under that last caution. You see right there, 23 laps to go in this stage. Now, drivers pretty much like Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr. pitted that last caution. We feel comfortable they can make it. But when you look at our top 7 right now, which includes that leader, Joey Logano, on that 22, they pitted with 57 to go, which is about 5 or 6 laps outside the fuel window. But we have had 10 caution laps since they pitted, but they're going to be right there on the threshold, I think.
So enough fuel or fuelish? We'll see. The Coca-Cola family of drivers faring pretty well today. Joey Logano's already clinched the bonus for leading the most laps. That's an extra 6-pack of product. Kyle Larson currently second, Austin Dillon ninth, Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, and Ryan Newman all on the lead lap. And Kyle Larson, Regan, is he sitting biding his time, trying to figure out his next move? What?
Well, Kyle Larson has already been told by crew chief Chris Johnson that he cannot make it to the end of this stage. They know they're going to have to pit, so they told him go as hard as you can right here, get as much track position as you can. We're going to have to make a green flag stop. The 20 car of Eric Jones in the same boat. They want him to stay with that lead pack that he's with right now, so when they do pit, he doesn't lose a lap, but they're going to have to stop for fuel as well.
As Larry pointed out, the top 7 drivers are a little questionable on fuel. Here's Chase Elliott's radio.
If you get in a good spot here, just say what fuel you can. Save fuel.
Copy. See what I can do for you.
Mike, that's the theme of every week. Every week is like save fuel.
Jamie?
And after that, it was about 2 laps ago. They told Chase, we need you to go about 75% throttle all the way around to make it to the end here.
Yeah, and they're not going to, they'll run out, but they'll run out with a lap of reserve, so they can still get to pit road to get that fuel. But I just don't know how much fuel you can really save if they're a lap or 2 behind. Jamie, what do you think?
Man, guys, I just think with the drag that the cars have in them this year, it's going to be really hard to save fuel and still run a decent lap time, because that's the balance you have, right, is trying to save fuel but still maintain a somewhat decent lap time. And to do the tricks of, you know, driving it down the straightaway, pushing the clutch in, shutting the engine off, I just think you'll lose so much lap time that it's almost as you know, well off to pit. So much different this year than what we've had in the past.
Jamie, I think you're right, because the cars are running so much closer together this year. You don't have any gaps. You're just pretty much right on top of each other, the first 15, 20 cars.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that works, I think, is if you get everybody having to save fuel, if the whole field's in the same position. But the fact that just those first 7 are going to have to save fuel, I mean, to me, like, Kevin Harvick's kind of in the best position right now. And, you know, 30 minutes ago, we thought he was in trouble and might not finish this thing. But clearly those guys have put themselves in a good position, and he's not going to have to save here.
Let's check with Matt.
The Ford's out front of Joey Logano is impressive, but what impresses me right now is Kevin Harvick, how he's making his way back up through. Remember, he topped off for fuel just like the car in front of him. The 3 of Austin Dillon. Rodney Childress told him, just take care of it. Pretty much everybody in front of you except for Dillon is going to have to stop.
Matthew Benedetto just going a lap down. Larry could even the leader, Joey Logano, stop for a splash and go without losing a lap here under green.
Mike, pit road is so long here, and having to maintain pit road speed of 55 miles per hour and slowing down getting on the pit road and getting back up to speed, it's very, very borderline. And I go back to what Regan Smith talked about. The leader is going to use more fuel than those guys that are drafting off behind him, so he's really the one that's not in good shape, Joey Logano.
So even with that 2.5-second gap back to the 8th place car, nobody is safe stopping for fuel under green. 9 laps to go in stage 2, and once again, the top 7 drivers are running very low on fuel.
Yep, 8 to go. I don't know, Mike.
Not much activity on pit road.
Well, we're wondering if any of these cars are trying to save fuel. You can see right there, Brad Keselowski got a big run on his teammate Ryan Blaney. He's actually going to try to go for the pass. So that already tells you he's probably not trying to save fuel. A little contact. But I don't think any of these guys up front here are trying to save any fuel. So they're either confident they can make it, or they're confident they're going to definitely be coming down pit road.
Kyle Larson peels off from 2nd place to make a stop.
Mike, it's so hard to do. You run 190 mile an hour, you got to slow that thing down to 55.
Plus, Darrell, he doesn't have a win in the bank. He can't afford to gamble like Joey Logano can or Brad Keselowski can. Regan.
Kyle Larson has to his pit stall right now. As we said, they're going to have to get that fuel. This race car has been tight in turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4 have been pretty easy for them, though, with the headwind that they're dealing with.
Larson could have used some stage points, but they take the time to take tires. And we'll see if he can stay on the lead lap. Joey Logano is coming.
Here he comes.
No stage win for him.
Larson took 2 tires and fuel. Let's see what these guys end up doing. It looks like he might stay on the lead lap, Kyle Larson, coming off pit road. Jamie?
Brad Keselowski said after that last wedge adjustment, this car was much better. A little bit tight there. Fuel and right side. Regan.
Eric Jones,
Eric Jones finds his pit stall. This car is tighter in traffic with the sun out right now. Matt.
Collins for left side tires for Joey Logano. Chris Conklin nods that the car is full of fuel and he's away.
Ryan Blaney, the leader, he will come to pit road. And that will leave just Chase Elliott and Clint Bowyer, who need a stop. They've asked Elliott to save, but can he save enough? Safety violation, Brad Keselowski. He'll have to do a pass-through penalty.
Is it run tire maybe and the gun?
It was a hurry-up deal, and you got to slow down and go faster sometime.
And Elliott's coming. He will give up the lead to Clint Bowyer. And this may all cycle around to Austin Dillon's advantage. Jamie.
Chase Elliott, as I mentioned, was running 75% throttle for quite some time, but it just wasn't enough. Right sides and enough fuel here to get to the end.
So Bowyer, last man standing, who last pitted at lap 63. Austin Dillon was in the pits lap 72, as was Kevin Harvick at 73.
Here comes Bowyer.
Yep. And I tell you, isn't it funny? Harvick was in trouble. Lap down, takes away round, comes back in the pits. Here he is. I think he's probably got the car that will win this stage.
Austin Dillon looking for his first ever stage win. His younger brother Ty got his first a few weeks ago.
There's another guy, really, that 3-car runs really good on these 2-mile racetracks. Ran really good on Poet, California, and he's had some pretty good runs on these 2-mile tracks.
Paul Mandalahide runs around and gets that right rear. Look for only right sides for Bowyer here on the stop. They get the tires back, and he's away.
Hey, Larry, I'm only seeing these guys. I know they're taking 2 tires, but they're only putting 1 can of fuel in it. You think they're just going to run that thing until it goes dry again, or will they have to come back down pit road during this stage break?
Well, remember, in that next stage, the final stage, everybody has to pit. So possibly what they may do, Jeff, is they may come and just and do a minimal stop at the end of this stage, or they may possibly stay out for track position, knowing no matter what, you have to stop in that next stage.
Martin Truex has closed right up on the 2 leaders, and Kurt Busch is coming. This is going to be a 1-lap shootout for the stage 2 win.
Hey, the Dillon kid, Austin, he's hanging on that lead. Well, I want to give it up.
No, these are huge points for somebody like Austin Dillon. I mean, you got a team trying to make it to the playoffs, but Kevin Harvick, he wants that playoff point that can add up, be so valuable for him later in this playoff and for the championship.
And these 2 guys are such great friends. I mean, you know, they hardly ever have had a conflict or didn't agree about things on the track.
And neither has a race win this year, but here they come off turn number 4. And Austin Dillon down to the inside by 2 car lengths is your stage 2 winner from Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, Kurt Busch, and Eric Almirola. That's Richard Childress, just back from a trip to China, overseeing RCR. Grandson Austin Dillon and Daniel Hemrick, his Cup drivers.
Pop-Pop's going to be happy.
I should say. First stage win for Austin Dillon. Carrying our Fox visor cam for the first time.
Doing everything he can to save fuel just to make sure he gets on pit road to fill it up, put tires on.
Saving a little fuel there. The final stage point went to Chris Buescher in 10th place behind Hemrick, Byron, and Bowman.
Buescher's been doing a great job collecting points lately. He might sneak up on some folks if they're not careful.
Good man. Scrappy will be proud of him.
So the pit should open this time. Ricky Stenhouse is already there. He's been there quite some time, getting a little, and now pulls away after service complete. So he will start at the back for having pitted too soon. What a beautiful day. We're partly cloudy now, mostly sunny skies here in Cambridge Junction, Michigan. And here they come down pit road. Regan.
Martin Truex Jr. with a nice call from crew chief Cole Pern to go ahead and get that fuel so that they could get some stage points and get their car back towards the front right here. He's free into turn 1, but he needs to be a little bit looser off of the corner. They're scared to make too much of an adjustment because of that right now. The one car, Kurt Busch, on the right side of your screen, he is too tight off of turn 2. The last pit stop, they came down and worked on that right rear to make sure it was clearance. Matt?
Kevin Harvick is already in. They're going to go 4 tires on the 4. The car was losing its nose. Meanwhile, the 3 of Austin Dillon, he's already away. He was tight down in 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Logano and Boyer came back in to get more fuel and get the tires on the side of the car they didn't put on the last time.
And look at the difference. 2 tire changes. Big jumps in position after those stops. I believe Brad Keselowski stayed out. Remember, he's a lap down for having to serve that penalty and will likely take the wave around.
We say we dial up to 3. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Hey, Austin Dillon, it's a DW, buddy. Congratulations on winning that stage, and thank you for wearing that helmet, Kim. And how's your car, pal?
We've got a pretty good Dow Chevrolet today. I'm really proud of the guys who made some big adjustments in practice from first to second practice. And man, the golden rule, you got to pit when you can make it on fuel, and it worked out right there.
Yes, it did. I know you made Pop mighty happy. I saw him strutting around there just a minute ago. So congratulations. Keep it up, pal.
Thanks, buddy.
Austin Dillon, our Symbicort onboard camera, and a penalty for Eric Almirola driving through too many pit boxes on exit. We'll send him to the back of the line.
Can't wait to get out west in a couple weeks right after that U.S. Open and be out in Sonoma, just up the coast from there.
Wine country. Brad Keselowski will not get the wave around because he chose to make a pit stop. And let's show a replay of his penalty. It's termed a safety violation.
Yeah, I think I'd call this too many men over the wall. Just they roll that tire to him, and he casually goes to reach it, and then he realizes he's lost control of it, leans over the wall. Once you put that hand down on the wall, that's a violation.
That tire bounced. When it hit the wall and bounced, he wasn't ready for that, and then he had to reach in there and try to grab it, and I guess that's a safety violation.
And NASCAR reviewed the procedure on Eric Almirola, and they have taken back the penalty for driving through too many boxes on exit, so Almirola will restart 11th. 74 laps to go. Let's look at the Xfinity fastest pit stops on this stage break. Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Eric Jones. So now everybody in the same box having pitted at lap 123 or shortly thereafter in the case of Bubba Wallace and Corey LaJoie, and we're going to restart with 31 lead lap cars.
In the same box on fuel, Mike, but not on tires. Some of these guys did take 4 tires, and I just wonder, like Kevin Harvick, who's one of those that took 4, later when they come down pit road, if this thing stays green, they can only do, they can maybe choose to only do 2 or even under caution.
Yeah, I think that 4 car could be a car that could pass the 22.
Here they come to the Geico restart zone. Joey Logano's led 109 laps today. He and Chase Elliott on the front row.
Green. Give the 20, 19 coming to force. Watch your very south, watch your middle here. All 2x2, 19's on you, 20 still inside. 19's on you.
Oh, here goes the 4 to the outside, just like you called it,
Yep.
DW. Going to go 3 wide. I think
3
this.
wide here.
Wow.
19 rolling Harvick.
This is something Joey Logano has not experienced. Unfamiliar territory for him to be stuck in the middle, going backwards 3 wide.
You see his car dancing around. I mean, that car needs to be out front, and right now he's the rock between 2 hard places.
And here comes another Eric Almirola to his outside, still 3 wide.
Woo! Wow!
Jumps up in front of William Byron.
Whoa! What a move! That was incredible, Mike, that he was able to get that 22 car in that hole.
Every track we've been to this month, the restarts have been just wild. Kevin Harvick had a couple of unscheduled pit stops early, got things sorted out, and now has gone to the front.
And, you know, a lot of these guys thought 2 tires are going to be the way to go for track position, but our top 3 right now, Larson.
No. Larson and Logano, they really had contact. Look at William Byron scoot through.
How did he save that? That's all at, what, 180, 90 miles per hour.
That's some quick hands, buddy. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know how he did that.
Telling you, these 2 tires, it's catching up on some of these guys. That's what I was going to say. Those guys up front are
trouble. Turn 2.
Trouble.
Bowyer in the fence.
Boy, just keeps on hitting. The hits just keep on coming. Wow.
That'll put us under caution for the 5th time today. Bowyer was 10th. Let's first go back to the big save by Kyle Larson when he and Joey Logano got together. And then we'll see what brought out the caution.
Yeah, we're coming off the corner, turn 4 here.
Oh, he just tries to jump up. Then almost similar to what he did last week with Bowyer jumping up in front of him. This time he squeaks through and saves it.
And did not touch the wall. That car was up to it, but didn't touch it.
Now let's see what happened to Clint Bowyer up in turn 2.
See, he goes to the inside of Eric Jones. Maybe. Oh man, they
made contact.
Tiny bit.
Yeah, he got into the left rear of the 20, and that got him loose. Gosh, he was lucky right there.
Boy, real close there. And he kind of got himself in a situation where as he went to the inside of the 20, all of a sudden he became 3 wide, because I believe that's the 3 of Austin Dillon. And it's almost like that car, maybe somebody said inside, and he had to move up the racetrack a little bit.
Yeah, Jones did a really nice job. Eric Jones did a great job of holding on to his car, but it just freed up the 14 so much he couldn't save it.
And so did Chris Buescher, who was right behind Bowyer when that car went up and into the wall.
That's 2 hard hits. So the 14 took right here. He backs it right back into the wall.
Whoa.
Bam!
Ty Dillon just squeaked through there. Fifth caution flag of the day.
That's kilt.
Right along with the visor cam on board Austin Dillon as we went to caution for this.
Welcome back to the Race Hub Studios. 5th caution out at Michigan. You know, Joey Logano has been the class of the field the entire race. We saw on that restart, just got hung out to dry. Now we're going to get to see what Kevin Harvick has.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick made it 3 wide, went to his outside, which is the preferred groove. And now he's back in 6th. Joey Logano's back in 6th. So it's going to be interesting to see what his car does in traffic and if he can get back to the front. But we think Kevin Harvick's the best car, and we know Joey Logano has a great car. So it's going to be fun if we can watch those guys duel it out.
How does that car react now that it's back in traffic when we know that it likes to be up front?
Well, I mean, obviously it's not going to have the grip. And Joey Logano's done such a good job throughout the whole race of putting his car where it needs to be, where guys can't get by him. But we're going to find out, Shannon, what the car does, because he's going to be telling his crew chief here real soon.
So I was listening in on Kevin Harvick's radio when he had those pit problems. So calm, did not overreact, did not get upset. Rodney Childers said at one point, guys, we got to get our stuff together. But how key is that in making the rebound, the fact that you stay calm in those situations?
Well, I mean, that's huge. And we've heard Kevin Harvick voice his frustrations at times. And I would have thought now that it's the 2nd or 3rd week in a row that it's happened, that he would get frustrated. But he's done a great job of keeping us cool. And now he's leading the race, and he's got the best car today. So it'd be fun to see him and Logano kind of battle this out here.
Oh, my goodness. We're going to see what Kevin Harvick has in that 4 car right now. Looking for that first win of the season, Mike.
here last year. Brad Keselowski got the free pass. He's back on the lead lap. Of the top 5 drivers on this restart, only one, Martin Truex, has been to victory lane this year.
Well, and Mike, some others that have gone to victory lane multiple times: Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, deep in the field right now.
I like that outside line, though, the way it's lined up, though. You got Truex, Larson, and Logano in that outside lane. That could be big on this restart.
Kevin Harvick, front row outside.
Now he's got it looking. Here's the rear view mirror for Larson to take him 3 wide down through 1 and 2.
At 42 and 22, it's like they're magnetized together.
Yeah, and the 9's a part of that train as well. That's a tight group right there. Whoa, what the heck?
I don't know. I think they're working together.
No.
Oh, boy, Logano payback to Larson, pushes him by the 4 car. Uh-oh.
Oh,
and Austin Dillon's in the wall.
Oh, that gun.
Caution.
That was crazy. That was a crazy turn right there, guys.
Same spot.
We'll be okay here. We're okay. We'll get caught up here. We'll work on it.
Same spot as Clint Boyer.
Yeah.
And kind of in the same position. Boyer was in 10th. Austin Dillon's in 12th. I don't think there's a lot of air that's moving around these race cars that part of the pack.
I just think when you got to get out of the throttle, it just creates these bottlenecks.
Look at this huge run from a big push, Logano, to push the 42 of Larson by. I think Larson was a little free when he got out front. Then Logano side drafts, get to his left rear.
Does the field kind of accordion up by the time it gets back here to the 3?
I do, but I don't think that really had anything to do here.
I don't either.
We see the 3's already high, having to get out of the throttle. Oh, it looks like he and William Byron.
A little help.
Yeah, it looked like William Byron's car started to get away from him as the 3 went up the racetrack, and then they made contact.
I don't think there's a lot of damage to that 3 car, but he's definitely going to have to come to the pits.
Oh, I see Austin Dillon takes these guys 3 wide. Nice move by him going into turn 1. You can hear he already started losing grip, getting out of the throttle. And then once they made contact, it was all over from there. He was just along for the ride.
There was a whole lot of steering going on.
There was, but, you know, Danny Stockman said, let's don't panic. Let's get in here and work on it.
Boy, he's pretty loose there.
He's loose. Yeah, the 3's loose getting in.
And now the 24 gets a little loose, just trying to correct it.
I think what happened, Jeff, the 3 had to lift a little bit because he was loose, and that allowed William Byron to get up there and just maybe tap him in the left rear a tiny bit. That's all it took.
Well, it doesn't take much, but that's pretty heavy damage to on the right rear for Austin Dillon. Obviously frustrated.
Yeah.
Well, he may fare better than Clint Boyer. His car gets back out on track. And there are a few takers on pit road during this caution flag. Cleaning up from the 6th caution of the day, Garrett Smithley will get the free pass on this one. Joey Logano, your race leader. Time to take a look at today's Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Martin Truex Jr. has won every other race over the last 6. Last week he finished 35th with the blown engine, so you know what that means. I think today he gets his first Michigan victory.
Yeah, Jeff, Joey Logano has been stuck at 22 wins since his win at Vegas back earlier in the year. He got his first win for Team Penske at Michigan in 2013. He's going to be win number 23 when it's all said and done today.
Now, I love it when you have trouble early, overcome it, and find yourself back in the lead. Kevin Harvick was second in this race last year. He won here in June. Guess what? Kevin Harvick goes to victory circle today.
Chase Elliott comes to his best track. Average finish here is fifth. They had some damage with the teammate. They got it fixed. They had the fastest pit stop of them all last go around. Chase Elliott's running up front. I think it's the 9 who gets his second win of the season.
Well, I'm going to ride the same horse here since Friday. Eric Almirola. Started outside pole. He had the best long run speed in final practice of anybody. A car that's fast, a car that handles really well, ought to be able to find its way to the front, right? And that's your Credit One Bank ones to watch. All right, let's check with Jamie.
Clint Boyer has been checked and released. It looks like the same thing just happened to the 3 car, but what did you see happen?
Yeah, the 20 got loose getting into the corner, and I tried to move down to not hit him. And it was just kind of an evasive move to not run into him, and I got loose through with the 3 underneath of me. It's just a situational deal, and you know, I mean, if you run out of real estate, it's just kind of par for the frustrating course out there. You know, it's missed out on stage points again. Just kind of, it's like however the cookie crumbles is how you get the stage points. If the caution comes in your favor, you make the right decision at the right time, you get track position and get points. If you don't, you don't. And hopefully the luck plays out. It's really, really frustrating day. You know, obviously everybody at Stuart Haas Racing's racing with heavy hearts. Missing, you know, losing a teammate with Sean Souls this week was a big blow to everybody at Stuart Haas Racing and this racing community. I mean, that guy's been around a long time, come back to the MWR days with me, and made a big difference in my career. So, you know, I was hoping to have a lot better finish than that. I can promise you I left here a lot happier last year, but, yeah, I guess it wasn't our day.
Thanks, Clint. Mike?
Clint Boyer was last year's winner here at Michigan in June. They waved off the restart. We're going to try one to go again, as NASCAR had to recycle one of the caution lights around the track. Austin Dillon back down pit road yet again for repairs.
Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Sorry guys. Just stayed with it. I back again. I gotta come now, I got a flat. Yeah, come now.
Well, he won a stage and had a good race car, and it's frustrating when you get in trouble like that.
They debuted that paint scheme on D-Day at RCR in front of a huge group of veterans, some of them from World War II. A lot of names on the hood. Very patriotic tribute there on Austin Dillon's car.
And Mike, we're getting ready for these restarts, and it seems like to me the outside lane has the advantage. They get a nice run down into turn 3. A lot of it depends on who's behind you. Right now you got to the 4 and the 22 on the front row, but they got good pushers behind both of them.
Jamie McMurray, you ran this race last year. What's the issue with restarting on the inside?
Well, the inside, when you get to turn 1, it's a little flatter, lower on the track, and the car on the outside, you know, hugs down on your quarter panel. But to me, the biggest thing is I want to be in the outside lane, because Kyle Larson behind Joey Logano right here, he has no choice but to push Joey Logano down in turn 1. Chase Elliott behind Kevin Harvick, he might pull out and make it 3 wide, and when Harvick loses his momentum, you can take till turn 3 to get it going again.
Well, that's a great point, Jamie. A lot easier to block and make that guy push you from behind in that outside lane.
Let's see how it plays out. Logano gets a big jump.
It's kind of going to be a drag race, but just to Jamie's point, there's Kurt Busch jumping to the inside of Chase Elliott, going to make it 3 wide. Heck, they might have been 4 wide.
Oh, big stack up there, 4 wide.
This is where the outside lane kind of takes advantage, if it has one, is coming off the corner. Got a little momentum. I don't know if that's going to work for the 22 or not, because the 4 is right there.
Well, I'll tell you, somebody took advantage was Ryan Newman, as he's coming all the way up into the top 5. Great move there.
Newman in the 6 and Kurt Busch in the 1.
Boy, that 4 car, man, he drove that thing off into turn 3, and he got the lead away from the 22. That 4 is bad fast, guys.
Well, Kurt Busch might come to help his teammate Larson. Larson was about to lose a bunch of spots down that inside lane.
Something broke on Eric Jones' car between turns 3 and 4, and he got squeezed all the way back out through the pack and comes to pit road.
Oh, it looks like it might be a right front tire. I can't tell.
It does
for
look
sure.
low.
That right front looks low.
Well,
he was
3
running
wide
10.
down the back straight. We look at Bowman giving Suarez a huge push into turn 3.
And look at Suarez go, man, right by the 42 of Larson. And up on the back bumper of Brian Newman. Nice move.
Man, when you get a run, you can run it for a long way.
You can sail it off in there.
Chase Elliott now alone on the inside lane.
He's not done yet. Here goes Suarez to the inside of Newman into turn 1.
Wow.
And he's going to make that stick.
Suarez has got a car that really gets off in the corner fast. Carries a lot of speed down into turns 1 and 3. Newman doing a nice job of hanging tough, though, in the 6 car.
I think right now, Kyle Larson's got a bit of an advantage because he has a teammate that's on his rear bumper. If he pulls out, if he makes a move and he has the momentum, if Kurt Busch can stay with him, that's going to help secure that pass.
Yeah, it's hard once they get single file like this, Jeff. It's so hard to make a pass by yourself. You need some help, and having a teammate is certainly good help to have behind you.
Well, we've got the best 2 cars, I think, that have been here all weekend long. Right now, 1-2. Kevin Harvick in that number 4 in the lead, and Joey Logano in second. We're going to find out whether you can pass that leader or not.
Yeah, well, Rodney Childers, the crew chief on the 4 car, he's got to have a sigh of relief to get that car back out front. Look at that. I mean, he was a lap down at one time, and we thought he was in trouble. Now the field's in trouble.
That was a graph of your heart rate. That would scare you.
I'll tell you one thing, Logano was looking underneath him down here in turn 2.
And I think these are the first 2 leaders to be able to gap the field.
And both of these guys, maybe Kevin Harvick even more extreme. Look at the back of their cars, how squatted down the back. They've got that spoiler out of the air. They're going for that straight line speed. But whatever they've been able to do to the setup of this car, they've had cars that handle really well in the corners also.
Michael McDowell made an unscheduled stop, heads back out on the track. In 15th, Bubba Wallace, yesterday's football star with Corey LaJoie. Brad Keselowski back on the lead lap, running 18th in the 2. Paul Menard was strong early on. Jimmy Johnson had trouble early on. They're all right in 1 pack.
And right behind him, a big run coming from the 2. Brad Keselowski back on the lead lap.
Jimmy Johnson had a fairly eventful day on pit road, I must say.
Kurt Busch passes Kyle Larson, his Ganassi teammate, for 5th. And up front, here goes Logano.
He does, and he's able to make that pass.
I don't know if Kevin's going to give it up that easy. Nope. He was almost clear.
Yep.
But that's goes to show you how much speed that 22 car has of Logano to be able to even get to the inside of the 4.
With no help on the inside, Logano blasts back into the lead.
And here comes Kurt Busch. Look at this huge run by Kurt.
When you can run into that 3rd turn, and turn 1 or 3, either one, and you don't have to get out of the gas, man, do you have a lot of momentum.
Next weekend, Kurt is going with his team owner, Chip Ganassi, to Le Mans to check out the stock sports car scene.
Oh, he is open. We're just talking about Bubba Wallace having a top 15 run.
You got a brake pedal.
Well, these 2 guys right here, these 2 guys I think are having fun, but I'm not sure.
I just don't think that the position Kevin Harvick's in is going to complete this pass into turn 3. Not with Logano right on his door.
Ooh, man, you saw that 4 car get a little loose. Saw those hands busy inside that 4 car.
You might get a little help there from Kurt Busch. Yes, down the front straightaway.
Pushing you, one's pushing you, one's pushing you. Can't quite get you. Still there, right rear. One's still with you, one shot you. Top's covered here, 22 outside.
And as soon as Busch went to the top, Logano squirted away.
Kevin better get up into that hole real quick between him and the 19.
Ooh, he made it.
Yeah.
That was close, getting a 4 in front of the 19 like that, but he made it.
Let's go back and look at what happened to Bubba Wallace. The front of that group on the right.
Trouble down. The leader there, or Kevin Harvick in the 4, drove in the corner so hard the car took off up the track. I thought he was going to hit the wall, but he caught it.
He caught it, but he's back to 7th place.
Well, obviously, you can see something broke in that 43 right as he turned down into turn 1.
There's a lot of slicing and dicing going on here right now.
Harvick trying to rebound now against teammate Suarez for 5th place.
Well, Suarez, he treated his teammate pretty kind right there. He could have slid up in front of Kevin Harvick, chose not to. And then how about Chris Buescher? He got some stage points.
Yeah.
Now look at him up in what, 6th, 7th spot?
Yeah, he's 7th right now, doing a nice job.
Outstanding run.
Moment, he's 8th. Ryan Newman continues to hang into the top 10.
Well, let's see if Kurt Busch is in position to do anything with Joey Logano.
The only guy
Many have tried.
The only guy that's been able to pass that 22 is Kevin Harvick. Pretty much everybody else has been stuck behind him.
Yeah, but I think until our super speedway races at Daytona and Talladega, and I look at these guys like Logano and Kurt Busch, both of them very good at those types of racetracks, and I'm just wondering if these guys aren't starting to learn how to race with this setup, where maybe you have to back up to that car behind you to get a big push to make that pass.
You know, when you find out how good you are, when you say there's 50 laps to go, you better get on it.
We're going to take you double wide. 44 laps to go. Toyota top performers, Martin Truex 2nd, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Matthew Benedetto on the lead lap. Here's why Chase Elliott had to come to pit road.
Just a little bit wide. Looks like
quite a bit of damage.
That was Daniel Hemrick. Somebody slid up in front of him, took the air off of him.
Now, what happens to Kurt Busch here as Kevin Harvick comes steaming around the outside?
That's what, it just sucked him up the racetrack, and they both had to check up.
Yeah, the 4 cars, what happened to the 1 car. Got him on the outside, and I think got him a little bit loose. But you know what? I watch this. You see right here. I watch this, and as it's all unfolding, Mike, it reminds me of what Tony Stewart said. This is a chess match, and I'm only smart enough to play checkers.
Man, here's a guy we have not talked about hardly at all today, and that's Kyle Busch. He has been struggling, but he's finally starting to make his way up there. Just gotten to the top 10.
Hasn't spent much time, if any, in the top 10 today.
You just can't ever count he and that team out.
Nope.
Never.
Sir.
I mean, they're just too good.
Larry, what do you think's going on with Kyle Busch?
Well, before we get to Kyle Busch, Mike, let's talk about our leaders, because they pitted at lap 123. Should we stay green, they're going to have to pit somewhere around 25 or 30 to go. But Kyle Busch, Adam Stevens brought him to pit road on that caution before the last one, so he pitted at 131, so he can go about another 20 to 25 laps, which would put him somewhere around 20 to go. They have made a ton of pit stops, Mike, with that 18 car. We watched them actually pull a Packer out of the right front. Major adjustments all day long on that car.
Well, it's working, Larry. He just ran his personal fastest lap of the race 3 laps ago.
How about this awesome move by the 1 car of Kurt Busch? He sees these two get side by side, Suarez and Larson. He doesn't go 3 wide. Because Suarez went down the bottom to block it. He just goes straight up the middle, goes by both of them.
This track has been his playground today, and I'll bet if you laid a track over all of his laps today, he's touched every square inch of asphalt. Top, bottom, inside, outside. Brad Keselowski against Ryan Newman for 12th, and here is Larson and Buescher for 6th. Well, Joey Logano has been tough to pass. 129 laps he's been out front. Now Jamie Mack with 40 laps to go. Who's got anything for him, and how are they going to get it done?
Well, guys, as I'm watching that, Joey Logano's driving his car, but TJ Majors is as well. And he's telling him where Martin and Harvick are running. And I think the only way you're going to pass Joey Logano is if you can get to his outside like we saw Kurt Busch or Kevin Harvick do to Kurt Busch earlier. It's so hard to complete that pass on the inside, but if you can get Joey to run a little lower and sneak to his right rear quarter, I think that's the only way Martin or Kevin are going to be able to get by him.
The only time that I saw Joey low on the racetrack was on the last lap of that stage he won. Otherwise, Otherwise, he's been kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I just feel like Joey's doing an outstanding job as a driver. TJ Major's doing an outstanding job as a spotter. I think they got this thing figured out, Mike, and I think he's going to be able to hold them up. But the guy I'm keeping an eye on is coming in a hurry is Kyle Busch. I mean, he's up to 8th place, and he's got a fast car.
And we know he knows every trick in the book on how to make passes, especially for the lead. I just, you know, even Logano, how strong he's been, and these other guys have made, you know, we've seen the four make a pass on him, but he was able to get right back by them. I just, you know, even if these two guys in second and third, the 19 of Truex and the 4 of Harvick, if they gang up on him and pass him, it just looks like Logano's so strong he's able to recover and get it back.
6 caution flags today, including the 2 stage breaks. Only 2 cars out of the race. Kyle Weatherman and Clint Boyer crashed out. They're your lap leaders on the lower left on the pylon with 37 to go.
Mike, other than that brief moment when the 22 was back in traffic a little
2
bit.
cars in the wall, turn
trouble.
2.
Trouble.
And it looks like they're both get away, but have lost a ton of momentum
so far.
David Reagan is the second of those 2. And his teammate Matt Tifft was likely the other. They both got way high in turn number 2, and at least one of them appeared to have contact
Are
there.
they teammates?
They are.
Wouldn't want to be in that meeting.
And definitely it was Reagan in the fence. Here he comes to pit road.
Yeah, he has damage to the front end and the right side.
Second place.
And, you know, talking about second place, 19 of Mark Truex Jr., he didn't qualify very well. We know that he has a setup in this car that's really meant more for handling. I don't think he has the straight line speed of the 4 of Kevin Harvick or the 22 of Logano. It's going to take a lot for him to get a big enough run to get by Joey Logano. Is it going to happen in some lap traffic? Is it going to happen in this sequence, this green flag sequence that we're possibly going to see here? There are ways to beat Joey Logano, but it is going to be tough.
Jeff, I just look at his. I just looked at the. We talked to him about his numbers. First 20-something. First 30-something. First 20-something. Last week he blew an engine at Pocono. Comes in here today. Numbers say he should be your winner.
3 second places here.
That's why I picked him.
And no wins. Yeah. 35 laps to go. We're going to take you Fox side by side. 30 laps to go. This is the most laps that Joey Logano has ever led in a race at Michigan. 139 so far.
And that's on that critical right side of the radiator opening for the 19 of Truex.
He better get up there and get behind somebody, get that off there in a hurry.
Oh, there it goes.
She went.
Like that.
All clear, all clear. Clear by 1 over to 1.
Ty Dillon's just made a pit stop. Everybody is going to have to come in, right, Larry, at some point here?
Yeah, Mike, we are right on top of what will be these green flag pit stops for pretty much everyone inside the top 10 except for Kyle Busch that I documented could go just a little bit further. So I would say anywhere in the next 3-5 laps, we're going to see all these leaders on pit road for that green flag stop.
Larry, 30 laps to race.
I hate to bring this up.
But we were wondering, Larry.
What is the trend?
Well, they've been kinder to me lately. And remember, these crew chiefs study the same trends I do. We're on top of those green flag pit stop. The average of the last caution, our last 10 trips to Michigan in June, is lap 170, which is 30 laps to go. But 4 times it happened in the last 20 laps. So we are right there.
And Mike, I got to tell you something. The only car that I think has been able to pass that 22 and pass him has been the 4. So if I'm Joey Logano and I see that 4 in my rearview mirror, I'll be a little bit worried.
Well, and also, if this goes green and they pit under green, that's the only time that #1 pit stall is a little bit of a disadvantage of how much momentum you can roll off of pit road to get up to speed.
Here comes 6th place, Kyle Larson. In what he hopes will be his last stop of the day. And Regan's waiting on him.
Kyle Larson's car starts the runs too loose, but by the time he gets into dirty air, he's lacking front grip with that race car, so they're going to give him an adjustment for that, and 4 tires on his race car.
A little surprised that they've chosen to do 4 tires here.
He's going to have to hustle because the leaders are coming off 4 now. Here comes a 4 car in the pit.
But I guess they do need good amount of fuel to get to the end.
So Joey Logano now 0.6 of a second up on Kurt Busch.
Yeah, I think if you got to get it full of fuel, so you might as well get 4 tires because you're going to be sitting there anyway.
Ryan Blaney in the pit lane. Here's Matt.
Rodney Childers told Kevin Harvick that it stays green. Some will take 4, some will take 2 tires. It's going to be a long time on those left side tires, so they are going to go 4. Here on the 4, he said the car was starting to lose the nose near the end of that run. Joey Logano is also on his way to 12 of Blaney's leaving pit road now.
Pretty decent stop by the 4.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yep.
Kurt Busch is in, so is Martin Truex, Chris Buescher, and Eric Almirola. Regan.
Well, Martin Truex race car right now is getting better, but he's still too tight on the exit with that race car. It's going to be 4 tires for his race car. Kurt Busch on the left side of the screen. It's going to be 2 right sides. 2 rights on the 19 also. Matt.
Keep an eye on the 22. Look for right side tires only. Yes, that's the call, and he's away.
A lot of wheel spin for Logano. Daniel Suarez is your new leader. Kyle Busch in second. Bowman third. Hemrick. And here's Suarez in the pit lane.
Well, they're going to be quite a ways ahead of those guys that came in before them that took 4 tires instead of 2. Regan?
Daniel Suarez, they've worked hard on that race car all day long to get it better. He's finally got it to where it's just a little bit too tight. Kyle Busch on the right side of your screen, same situation. That race car's been too tight on exit. Finally making gains. 2 tires for him.
Alex Bowman in and out. Daniel Hemrick as well. Matt DiBenedetto making his stop. Slow car David Reagan in the back straightaway. Looks like he's been in the wall again, but we'll make it back to pit road, and we will stay green. So that leaves the top 10 as having not yet stopped. Everyone back through Corey LaJoie.
And Brad Keselowski, he stopped in lap 133, so he can go a little bit further here on fuel than some others.
So Menard, Newman, and Matt Tifft are due. David Reagan did make it to the pits. Jimmy Johnson in and out with his last stop. Paul Menard to the pit lane and Ryan Newman. So Brad Keselowski has cycled around to the lead from Denny Hamlin and William Byron, who stopped 6 laps later the last time than anybody else except Ryan Preece, who now cycles up to 4th place.
No, we still got to, these guys are going to have to stop. It's just a matter of when. I think the question is, Logano took 2 tires. Harvick took 4 tires. I understand why. I think Logano needs to be out front. He said that over and over all afternoon. I think that's why he took 2, so he would assure himself of being in the lead when everybody cycles through.
Well, right now, Joey has 1.3 seconds on Martin Truex, and that's within a 1/10 of the lead that he had over Truex before the stops.
But here's the big loser. They chose to do 4 tires. Yes, if a caution comes out and lives up to the trends of Larry Mack, then those 4 tires might come in handy, but those other guys so far, by taking only 2 tires, came out of the pits with a huge advantage.
Well, we're coming to 20 laps to go, which means the trend would not be our friend. Not today.
I just like the call that they made on the 22 car with those 2 tires. I think that was a good call.
So there is Logano. He is currently 7th. The top 6 cars have not pitted.
Now, Mike, there are some hungry hounds after him. I will say that.
And Harvick is 16th with those 4 fresh tires.
Oh, the 2 cars squeezing the 21 Menard up the racetrack. That got really, really tight for Brad Keselowski. Now, this is Paul Menard. I believe he's a lap down. He's trying to get back onto the lead lap.
Right, he stopped just a little bit ago. Due in next should be Hamlin, Keselowski, and Stenhouse. Ryan Preece up to 4th. Last pitted lap 139. He'll likely be the last to pit in this sequence. Here comes Keselowski.
Here we come. Don't slide him. Don't slide him. And away.
Stenhouse is pitted.
Ooh, he came in there hot. He didn't slide him, Jamie.
You hear him tell him don't slide him. They're planning on either 2 tires or no tires, and it's no tires. Just enough fuel for Brad Keselowski.
New leader is Denny Hamlin. From William Byron, Ryan Preece. 18 laps to go. Kyle Busch was 8th prior to the pit cycle. When this all finishes up, he will likely be 5th.
Mike, he made a huge gain in the pits. Really gained a lot of distance, and that little group that was behind Logano, being pulled by Martin Truex Jr. and Kurt Busch, they are catching up in a hurry.
And we know how good Kyle Busch is at attacking the entry of pit road. He's got a great pit crew who put together a great 2-tire stop. All that netted him a huge gain on the racetrack.
It really did, and he's there.
So if we stay green, once these top 4 pit, Logano will once again be your leader. And Corey LaJoie has dropped off. He's come to pit road. And Denny Hamlin should be in this time, your race leader. That will leave just William Byron and Ryan Preece. And we expect Byron in a lap. Preece probably in the next 2 or 3.
Well, we've only got we'll have 15 laps to go when the leaders come by this time. So this it's showtime. You know, show us what you got. And I think Martin Truex Jr. is sitting in a great spot right now behind our leader here. Will be our leader, the 22 car. This little group right here. This is where it's going to get interesting.
William Byron is in. Giving up the lead. Ryan Preece 9 seconds back. He is coming this time, we're told, and he's in. So we have cycled through green flag pit stops. Joey Logano back to the lead.
And Mike, unless there's a caution, the 4 car took 4 tires, and he's so far back. It would take a caution for him to get back up here and be a factor as who's going to win.
And there is the difference. Harvick with that 4-tire stop back in now. 9th place.
Yeah, he's so far back, and I mean we're only a few laps to go now. We're coming to 14 to go.
Harvick, the Hunt Brothers Pizza Can. Looking across at Daniel Hemrick. Harvick up to 8th.
Why is it when I think of Joey Logano and Martin Truex Jr., Martinsville comes to mind?
I can't imagine.
Why did that come into my mind? I don't know. It just does.
Through this lap traffic, I was thinking that might be Martin Truex Jr.'s best friend, but actually Logano's been able to work his way through that traffic a lot better than Truex has.
Well, that Martinsville race last fall was a tough one for Truex. He passed Joey Logano without contact, ran him clean, expected the same, and didn't get it. Logano moved him to win, to get in to the finale.
Well, if he hadn't won that race, Logano, he wouldn't have won the championship.
Correct.
And I don't know if he was thinking that way or not, but that's how it turned out.
I promise you, when he gets to Martinsville this fall, he'll be thinking about that.
Thinking about it. I tell you one thing I have been really, really impressed with. That 22 car has been able to maintain that distance between he and Martin Truex for the last several laps. I thought Truex was going to get to him, but boy, Logano has really stepped it up.
Now he's got Bubba Wallace between him. I thought Bubba Wallace had an engine problem, but obviously it's something else that broke on that 43 car when he had his issue.
Now, Bubba's all the way back in 29th, but at least he's still going.
Yeah, there are only 2 cars out of the race, Kyle Weatherman and Clint Boyer. But Truex was the gainer on those green flag pit stops. It was 1.2 seconds was Logano's lead before the pit stop cycle. Now it's half that.
Yeah, and I thought Kyle Busch, I mean, he's right here behind, not too far behind Truex. He was really coming behind by Kurt Busch here. He was coming in a hurry, but then he kind of stalled out. I don't know if the tires, I don't know what happened, but he just stalled out. And right now, when I watch the lap times, I mean, Logano's about a 10th quicker than everybody else.
You see Truex finally got by the lap car of Bubba Wallace. Only one more lap car in between them, but yeah, you know, I think, again, the only way that he's going to be able to get to Logano, he's got to have work behind him from the one car of Kurt Busch, from the 18. Those guys are going to have to work together to try to find a way to get to the 22, and then they're going to have to work together to pass him. We know how guys like to work together to try to help somebody pass to the lead.
Well, worse news for the field. Joey Logano just ran his fastest lap of the race 5 laps ago.
Wow. Mike, I think he finally decided to hold it wide open because he's going on now. That time by, he was about that was 5/10 on that one lap. I know the 19 car caught traffic, but still he's just stretching out those guys now. The only way Joey Logano is not going to win this race is if we have a caution, and that could surely change things up.
Kevin Harvick just logged his fastest lap of the race, but he is 4.5 seconds back.
Well, he's gained a second because not too long ago he was 5.5 seconds back.
Ford, Toyota, Chevy in the top 6 spots. There are 2 of each make in this Motown showdown.
Mike, this can turn into a real battle right here between Martin Truex and Kurt Busch. That one car's pretty quick. He's been all over the back of the 19. Hadn't figured out a way around him yet. And right behind him is the 18 of Kyle Busch. That could turn into a real battle here at the end of this race.
Eric Jones back down pit road. He is off sequence from an unscheduled stop earlier. Austin Dillon also making a stop here with 9 laps to go.
I think if I'm Kurt Busch, I want to get up behind that Truex car and push him and see if I can push him back up to Joey Logano.
Well, that's what it looks like Kurt is doing. Right now, they're working together to try to get. He knows if he gets side by side with the 19 of Truex, that's only going to cost both of them time. They're going to have no chance at winning this race.
And I tell you that Kurt Busch, he's a smart kid, and he knows that he needs to help Truex. If he's going to get to the 22, he's got to help him get there.
Kurt said this week he is open to doing another season with Chip Ganassi. He's having fun in the one car. So we'll see how that sorts out.
He said he was going to go to Le Mans with Chip and contemplate his future.
Is that a French word? It will be by the time he gets back.
Hey, guys, they just closed it down another 3/10. They're within 8/10 of a second to closing up on Joey Logano right here. Great job that they're both doing.
Yeah.
You see right there, Kurt Busch goes to the inside so he can hold it wide open. Here goes Kevin Harvick making a pass for 7th on Brad Keselowski.
They're getting there.
But you're exactly right. It's going to take a Toyota and a Chevy working together to beat that Ford of Joey Logano today.
Well, they're going to get. I didn't think they were going to get there. Logano had a really big lead on these guys, but man, the last couple of laps they have closed the gap, and now they are there, and now the race is on.
Yeah, they gained a lot that lap. Now they can really use the draft of the 22 car Joey Logano to close up.
It's going to get really, really interesting, guys.
Now you saw right there Martin Truex Jr. pulled down to the bottom lane that the one of Kurt Busch had been using. That closed off the air to the one of Kurt Busch, and he fell back a little bit.
Well, I think what happened, the 19's getting the draft off the 22, and he's able to suck up, and I think it hurt Kurt a little bit. He fell back, so he's going to have to get back in line and pull back up behind the 19 car if he's going to have a shot. Well, we're 5 to go.
Jamie Mack, you've driven this #1 car here. Is Martin Truex going to need Kurt's help to make this pass?
Man, it sure does seem like it, guys. And like I say, I think they're going to have to get to Joey Logano's outside to complete the pass. But what Kurt Busch is hoping is that Martin Truex and Joey Logano get side by side, because we've seen it all day long. Those 2 cars will stall each other out, and he'll be sitting in the best position.
Turn 2, Eric Jones. Down in the grass after a spin.
Let's see if he gets going. With no caution yet. No caution yet. And the caution is out.
Yeah, that grass so wet from overnight rain.
Got a right rear go down.
And, hey, Mike, you see what?
Watch the cars. There you
This
go.
changes everything.
Absolutely.
Wow.
This opens up a whole bunch of opportunities here for a lot of people to win this race.
All I can think about right now is what this restart is getting ready to look like.
I know. Well, think about it. Look, the 4 car's got 4 tires better than anybody else. It could be big advantage for him.
All right, here's what happened to Eric Jones in turn 2.
Yeah, he knew he had a problem. Probably had a tire going down. I think it's a left rear tire. Tries to get it slowed down.
When that left rear tire goes down, you got so little control over the car. You're better off with a right rear flat.
Gets down on the apron.
Yeah.
That's still just, whoa, man.
This could be anybody. I mean, you think about Kyle Busch. He is great on restarts. And you think about the 4-car Harvick. He's got 4 tires, a little bit better than everybody else. So this could be very interesting.
5 laps to go. Logano and Truex have finished 1-2 on 4 occasions. Truex winning 3 of those. And of course, Logano winning at Homestead last year to win the championship.
How about this guy? He's had a pretty good day today. Daniel Hemrick,
9th place.
Hey guys, I just, again, I can't stop thinking about this restart that's about to happen. And oh, by the way, we know what the outside lane has been doing. And guess who's starting outside second row? Kyle
Busch.
You know he's going to make it interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And all across America, thousands of fans are going, you had to bring that up. Huh?
Sorry.
And other thousands of fans are going, all right, here we go.
Listen, and I'll put the same amount of emphasis on his brother Kurt Busch, who's going to be on the inside, because Kurt's going to be trying to make it 3 wide to the inside. Kyle's going to be trying to make it 3 or maybe 4 wide to the outside.
And here's the big difference about those front 4. That number 1 car is the only one who has not been to victory lane this season. Hungry? You bet.
Let's just go to overtime and figure it out.
We'll come back and do just that. Joey Logano, Martin Truex, Kurt Busch, Ford, Toyota, Chevy, then Toyota, Chevy, Ford. And guess what's coming to NASCAR on Fox in 2 weeks?
NASCAR Cup Series is headed west to wine country. It's time to raise a glass to one of the best in the biz. Our very own Darrell Waltrip will boogity one more time as he wraps up a 19-year career with the Fox family.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in wine country, boys.
The drivers don't need to think outside the oval as they make their way through the first road course of the season. It's time to go racing. Coverage begins 2 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
We love road racing and we love wine country. This is going to be fun.
And we love DW.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I would ask Jeff how many races he won there, but I'm not going till we get there.
When we get there. All right, tell me why this is going to be the biggest restart of the year so far.
Look, you got Logano and Truex. History, Martinsville. You got 2 brothers, Kurt and Kyle, side by side. History throughout their family. I mean, we got this thing lining up. This could be the biggest restart of the year.
Well, you got 550 horsepower punching a big hole in the air. So it gives the advantage to those cars behind them to be able to maybe take them 3-4 wide. I don't think this is going to be the only restart we have here.
When you got Bowman up there, he's 5th. 88's got a good history at this racetrack.
Right.
Dale Jr. won here in that car. So this is as good as it gets.
All right, let's start with Jamie Mack. Who wins?
Guys, the Busch brothers are going to decide this, because if Kurt decides to push the 19, if Kyle, earlier in the race we saw Kevin Harvick go the outside of the 22, so Joey Logano is going to have his hands full. Does he block the outside with Kyle Busch? Does he block the inside with Kurt Busch to try to make it 3 wide? I tell you what, I started sweating when the caution came out and thinking about all the different scenarios that are getting ready to happen right now.
This is when Jamie McMurray said, this retired thing's not such a bad idea.
It's not so bad.
Let me tell you.
Who wins?
You take that whole crowd up there in the front right now, the best restarter of the bunch, Kyle Busch.
Joey Logano's not a slouch himself. Be watching for him to put a pretty big block, and he's got TJ Majors helping him to do it by spotting for him upstairs.
Well, the 22's the best car, but the 18's the best restarter.
All right, it's overtime, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Green, white checker. 2 laps to settle it. on Monday in Michigan. Prime time. Here we go.
Checkers or wreckers?
Logano with the big jump.
Oh, I'll say. Didn't see that coming.
You almost wonder if he didn't have maybe a first gear restart to be able to get that jump.
He had a turbo.
Oh, they're going to get to the outside of Kyle Busch here.
Oh, they're working him
Suarez?
over. Yeah, Suarez looking on the outside. 3 wide up off turn 2.
That'll allow the leaders to scoot away a little bit.
Oh,
Logano and Truex.
This is not turning out the way I thought it would.
Not at all what I was thinking this was going to go like.
But they haven't made it into third turn yet.
And look at Kurt Busch to the bottom. He is there for second place.
Can he get a big run here?
Looking for his first win of the year. We're going to take the white flag under green. Next flag ends the race.
It's going to get ugly. I think it's going to get big and ugly down here in turn 3 or turn 2. Oh, dang, that's turn 1. That turn down there, that one.
Keselowski to the inside on Suarez. And the front 3 get away. It's going to be Logano, Kurt Busch, or Martin Truex.
I am just incredibly impressed with the 22 of Logano, Todd Gordon, that whole team. I mean, they have done everything right today, including that last restart.
Started from the pole, got the #1 pit stall, and coming to the line, I'd say that he's probably going to take home the victory.
Joey Logano by 2 car lengths over Kurt Busch and Martin Truex.
Get that, guys. Hell yeah. Perfect job, everybody. Way to execute a race. Hell yes.
He's right, across the board.
That's the way we do it, boys. Awesome job. Good job, TJ. We're out a couple batteries up there. Joey, drove your butt off. Thank you, guys. Awesome.
23rd career victory for Joey Logano, the reigning NASCAR champion. Gets a congratulations for Martin Truex out on track.
Or he's saying, you got me on that restart. I mean,
and from Kurt Busch. He led 161 laps, and he was hard to handle, even on this last restart.
Man, look, he jumped in the gas, and the rear tires spun a little bit, but then it launched. I just really believe he was in a different gear than some of these other guys on that restart to be able to get that launch.
He's been in a different gear than the other guys all day long. Look at this.
Woohoo! A 2-car length win for Logano.
Making me dizzy.
I think I just saw him do about 15 donuts.
Today's victory was fueled by Sunoco. Sunoco, fuel your best.
And he nailed it. It's just like he said, way to execute. The pit crew executed, the spotter executed, the driver executed. Perfect race.
On a day when his car owner Roger Penske was being honored at the White House for his Indy 500 victory with Simon Pagenaud, Joey Logano scores for the captain and for Ford.
Yeah, and Newgarden
in Michigan.
Newgarden won Saturday night in Texas for the captain, so a big weekend again for Roger Penske.
See that M logo? That was the original logo of Michigan International Speedway, built in 1968. Part of Larry LePayton's Speedways, Inc., later acquired by Roger Penske, who turned this into one of the show places of the sport.
I thought that stood for money, because that was a money lap that Joey Logano just ran.
And we all got to see a show here today in Michigan. What a race.
And that's a great job, Joey. Take a bow, brother. I tell you, I just really am impressed with what this team is. Joey Logano has been a great champion for our sport. He's out promoting the sport in a positive kind of way. Good man. Good man.
Matt Yoakum's with him.
3 wins at the Michigan International Speedway, 3 wins from the pole, MVP awards for every department, but especially on that restart. What did you learn on the restarts before that you executed on the last one?
I can't tell you everything I learned, but it's, you know, you race this whole race and you keep building that notebook up. But, man, what a great execution day from our race car. Obviously, was very fast. Our pit crew is amazing. TJ Majors, my spotter, spotted his butt off up there. The race fans sticking around to Monday. You guys are the best. We love coming up here to Michigan. There's nothing like bringing a Ford to victory lane in their home turf, and Roger Penske's cars as well. There's no better feeling than that. This is a big win for us.
You know the importance of this event for Ford Motor Company, the Michigan Heritage Trophy. Once again, Edsel Ford will keep it for another race here at MIS.
he made it known how important it is and how racing is in their blood at the Ford Motor Company and in the Ford family in particular. And I couldn't be more proud to be able to deliver that for him.
The Ford family won the first and the 100th here at MIS.
All right, Kurt Busch comes home in second place today. I saw you look at that right rear quarter panel. Was that the difference right there?
Yeah, that's more than what I was hoping to see for damage, but I had a blast. I mean, that was the tightest I ever put my belts at the end of a race because we got enough stage points today. I was like, hell with it. We don't need to get anything but the win. And we got second today. Logano's car was tough. I really wanted it to go green at the end with Truex. I was just going to push Truex straight through the 22. That was my best shot at it. But what a day for our Camaro from Chevy and Monster. Thank you guys. We'll get it. We'll get it. It gives us reason to smile and be happy. We ran up front. We were strong. We were in our manufacturer's backyard, but got second today.
A close second for Kurt Busch. 2 car lengths, 16/100ths of a second was the margin. More to come from Michigan as Joey Logano celebrates. Congratulations to Coca-Cola Racing family driver Joey Logano for his big win here today in Michigan. Well, the point standings may shake up just a bit, but Kevin Harvick still ahead of those. Kurt Busch closing of those who have not won behind those in yellow who have won. There's your top 10. And the cutoff now is Jimmy Johnson +3 over Ryan Newman for 16th to make the playoffs. In 1966, Joey, Henry Ford went to Le Mans, and he had a little card he gave to every driver and crew chief. It said, "You better win." HF the second. What did Edsel Ford tell all of you Thursday night at dinner that put the fear of losing in all the Ford drivers?
Yeah, almost exactly identical words to that. You better not lose. He told us how important it was, and I wish he was able to be here today, but man, it feels so good. Winning at Michigan means so much to Team Penske and Ford, and being able to pull in this victory lane and see everybody means so much. But man, a day like that, you don't get those days all the time. You have the best car, best team. We executed perfectly all the way through, and ultimately able to bring this Shell Pennzoil forward in a victory lane. I just can't thank everyone, at the shop enough. Everybody that builds this thing, Roush Yates Motors, Money Lion, SKF, everybody that helps out throughout this whole thing. Wheels Up. This is just an amazing feeling getting in the victory lane. We've been so close this year to getting a victory lane multiple times, and we've been coming up short, and mainly because of execution. And today, everything was cleaned up perfectly, and we did a great job. And this is what we get. So hopefully we can start stacking up some more here.
Well, you sure spanked him today. Go celebrate. Well done.
And Joe, I think you're going to have all those other teams looking at your telemetry on that restart, buddy. Good job.
I don't know what I did. I got lucky.
Yeah. You make your own luck. Well done. All right, let's go to Regan with the runner-up.
Martin Truex Jr., a third-place finish. So you had that bottom line on that final restart. Was that the frustrating part?
Yeah, no. I felt like before that we were going to finish second, no matter what. And my mindset there was, we got at least we got a shot at it here. Rack them up, have a green-white checker and see. But I don't know. My second gear was off a little bit all day on restarts, so I was getting jumps. But then the 22 just went like a whole car length before the restart zone. So I don't know. I don't know how you get away with that. I thought we were supposed to go in the box, but. Aside from that, great day for auto owners, Toyota, everybody back at JGR. Thank you, TRD, everybody, and we had a solid race car. It's just, man, you got to be so patient in this racing. It's really hard. Early in the race, I kept getting runs and going underneath guys and beating them through the corner. But if you can't clear them, you lose 2 or 3 or 4 spots every time. So it's frustrating at times. But everybody did a good job. We had a fill-in. Rear tire changer this weekend, and that's a lot of pressure to come in on. He's a young kid, and he did a good job there. So. Great job, everyone. Came up a little bit short, but a solid day for us here.
All right, nice job, Martin.
Well, Kevin Harvick led 15 laps today and overcame quite a bit. Lap down at one point, you fought back, but you were the only one to take 4 tires there at the end, Kevin. Were you on board with that call when you made it?
We had a really fast Busch Light Ford and just made a lot of mistakes today.
Thank you.
Joey Logano just spanked the field today.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, well, some days you just get it all right.
Yep.
You know, some days you got the number one pit stall. You started on the pole. You led the most laps, and you won the race.
And you have the fastest car.
That's
and
the
you
max
have the
points.
best restart.
That's max points.
Yeah.
He said it all weekend. I need to be out front, and that's where he kept it.
He did.
Well done. Tonight on FS1, Canada versus Cameroon. That's coming up. Fox Soccer tonight, and then MLB Whip Around. We'll have Father's Day weekend off, and then we'll be back Sunday, June 23rd from Sonoma, the Toyota Save Mart 350. Coverage beginning a week from Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Gonna get to go do a little road racing.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Love the road racing.
Got the carousels back.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Different track.
Gonna be a whole different challenge out there at Sonoma.
Different track for some. I mean, I ran the carousel. I kind of know what it feels like.
It'll be a new challenge for many. NASCAR Race Hub, weeknights here on FS1. Joey Logano by 2 car lengths, picking up his 23rd career victory. Logano, Team Penske, and Ford celebrate in Detroit's backyard after leading the most laps and dominating every restart. Well done. See you in Sonoma, folks.